welcome to episode number 57 of the Date Night Thrice podcast. I'm Ben, along with my co-hosts Emily and Ken, and we are going to walk you through a top 3 countdown where we talk about our top 3 most, commentable things of the month. Emily came up with some categories.
Controversial political takes.
I say it that way this time because I don't think, well, other than one of them, I don't think any of them are necessarily in my list because I love them. But I want to talk about them.
Yeah. Hot takes tonight.
Right, hot takes. What are we going to do? We're going to do questions from listeners. We're going to do our top 3, and we're also going to do a gift or a curse.
Yeah. Why?
You guys are going to curse
Do you know
me?
where you are? Like,
Whoa, somebody else tell me what's going on because I don't know what's... Normally I have a couple of drinks during the podcast. I thought, what if I just had a couple of drinks before the podcast? Well, here we are. I'm losing.
I got to say, you are on script. You are nailing it. Like, just don't slow down.
All right, I'm just going
going.
to keep rolling.
Yeah.
and he stops to drink
Right.
immediately. I'm going to keep going.
And here we
Quince.
go.
Anyway, let's take a break. I'm going to
All
throw
right,
up.
I'll catch you guys later. Let me go throw up.
Did you say what the top 3 are?
The top 3 this month are, we're back to our, we got some of our regulars back in there. We're talking about tabletop gaming, video games, and topic number 3, wild. Yes, it's a wild. What's going to fill the wild category? I don't know. I'm kind of excited to find out.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Okay.
Now that I see myself on camera, I'm beginning to realize that I need to figure out how to, like, appropriately
Shave.
trim and shave
You're
my
preaching to
face.
the choir here. Look at me.
Like,
You know what I saw today? Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
Go.
What did you
Here.
see?
Everybody on audio will not get this. On video, go to YouTube and watch this. Just skip to what's our time?
We're like
90
a minute
Minutes,
in.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
I saw a dude who had a beard exclusively under the jawline.
Oh, gosh, no.
But real tight up high above the Adam's apple, like almost like a.
Like he shaved
But
it
not up
to
the
there,
chin?
It did not come across.
and then he shaved down to there.
yeah.
like-
So
like-
this is the hair.
He
right
was just
here.
coloring the underside of his.
And that was the thing. It was real short too. It
So
was
it's
just
like where a shadow should
a
be.
shadow. Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to make
Somebody
it.
told him this is how we're going to accentuate your jawline. And I thought,
Oh.
oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh, dear.
Was he trying to make it look like he has the Elrond?
Oh God. The
Like
triple,
mean
nothing but chin.
the
Full
triple
on,
neck tuck. Yeah.
like a lipo.
the tongue removal surgery.
That's what I always have a trouble if I am going to have any facial hair, that figuring out how far up to
does
go
it-
on the neck, because I don't have that good 90-degree Elrond angle
Nobody
where you would
does.
shave
I
up to
mean-
the 90.
Right.
You know, you shave
Right.
the neck to the
Yeah.
face.
Where do you stop on a very smooth curve?
Right.
Of a
My
neck, right?
and face are directly connected.
When the neck goes to the chin, where do you stop?
Right. You're artificially
all
creating a
one thing.
jaw.
Eyes are watering.
You're arbitrarily deciding.
Right. It really
Where-
feels silly, right?
Yeah, it does because you're making it up.
And if I bring it way down or way up, which one looks more like I'm trying to hide the fact that my neck is just like
Right.
it just as E of X approaches 0 or whatever the equation is, right?
What does a better job of selling the fact that I'm nothing but neck? I don't know. I don't
we
know.
all
Whatever
know-
I'm doing right now isn't working. I can tell you that for
don't,
sure.
Just don't do the shadow, at least. You know.
Yeah, we need like a sketch thing on here so I can draw. He's very young guy too. So it was
Why? That's
maybe
so weird.
maybe some pop star has it and he just adopted it. I don't know. Who knows?
That's really rough.
Well, I wish I knew the like young people slang so I could give it an appropriate. Maybe it's
Ooh.
What do you think it's called?
It is the slang. I know all the good terms. I know bussin'. I know, even though that's pretty out of date now. I'm pretty sure too. So
I know them all.
You had
I know
one.
Bussin'.
My one word.
I know.
Anyway, Granddad will be out on the porch with his lemonade. Asleep. Do not come talk to me.
Right? It's so funny. Like, I maybe would make that joke jokingly a few years ago. Now it's more serious. Like, I'm just going to go to sleep.
Oh my God. I would love to. Yeah.
And I go to bed.
It's perfect.
If I could just find like
Oh my gosh.
20 minutes of just like, can I just go like lay in a hammock or something? Just leave me alone. That would be ideal, please.
Oh my gosh.
I don't
I
know.
almost spit out my wine and I'm like crying. So it's a good start.
What are you doing now?
Good.
What do you got going on?
Yeah.
Well, here's my mini update since the last time.
Okay.
It's been a while. It's always been a while.
It's always been a while. We got the stomach flu. It was the worst experience of my life. It was horrible. So that was fun. So the meal we ate before we got the stomach flu will never be in this house ever
Oh,
again.
no. I hope it wasn't good.
It was fine.
Was it like, okay.
But like Calvin the other day was asking for it, and I was like, no, that's
Yeah.
not allowed anymore. The weather warmed up, which was nice. Calvin keeps getting hurt, which is like I'm just waiting for him to like
Yep.
smash his teeth out or
He's
something.
his father's son, right? He's got the
He just
daredevil instinct.
it never
Well,
stops though.
That's true. He thankfully he's got those good dance Cunard bones.
Apparently, because
My dad got a knee replacement. He loves to talk about how the doctor was telling him how hard it was to get the
What a
fake knee
downgrade the knee replacement was.
how hard it was to actually get the fake knee into his bones because they were so
Right?
dense.
Didn't Sean say something too?
My brother he was getting tested for something, and he was like 99th percentile on bone density.
Like, what is wrong?
And then
You
so we
guys
were
are
like
insane.
asking, and we're like, you know what? None of us have ever broken a bone
Yeah.
in the whole family.
Cool.
And I was like, I don't know, maybe they are just like rock
Well,
hard.
hopefully the kids take after
Yeah.
you because my knees get smashed by
Yeah,
dogs.
apparently.
Oh, man.
So it doesn't work.
Calvin fell off the playground at school, and they thought he was hurt, but he was fine.
Got
was
back
just
up and
upset.
Grew more
Well,
bones. Yeah.
he fell where you do the I'm going to catch myself, so both wrists.
Ooh,
And he fell from probably between 10 to 12 feet.
that's enough to do it.
And then
Yeah.
he didn't feel good and it was all swelled up. And I was like, oh no, we have 2 broken wrists, but
Yeah.
we're good.
Really? Wow. Good for him.
So I went on a girls' trip 2 weekends ago, last weekend. I don't know. I went to Grand Rapids, which was awesome. It was fun. And while I was gone, when I came back, the kids immediately told me that Ben almost lit the kitchen on fire. Ben, would you like to tell us the story?
Defend
This was-
yourself.
I don't have a good defense, though. It wasn't like the Santa Claus, the turkey lit on fire. I was making popcorn on the stovetop, and
Oh, yeah.
to
That
hold the
smokes all the
pot,
time.
I was using a kitchen towel, and I just wasn't using like oven mitts. Then this one I had was like pretty thin. And it wasn't like
the
hanging
towel
down.
got it.
It wasn't hanging down in the flame, at least as far as I could tell. But it was too thin, and I was like, this thing is like getting kind of hot. It's like not thick enough. So I folded it up neatly, and I put it back in the drawer. Then I went and got a thicker towel, and I was like why does this popcorn smell like it's burning?
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on here? And I'm like, trying to figure it out. I'm just making it normal. It's popping fine. And I was like, is this going to be a freaking thing of burnt popcorn? Because it smells like it's on fire. And then finally there was like a little bit of like hazy smoke in my face. And I was like, what the heck? And I looked over to my left, and there was just like house fire smoke billowing out of the drawer that I had put the kitchen towel into. I opened it up, and it just went.
Oh, I bet.
Like,
Yeah,
like
right. It was starving for oxygen. Yeah.
So I grabbed the towel and I like threw it across the room, thinking that like that would put it out.
Like in
but it just like it just was like a fireball.
Like a magic trick, right? Like,
Exactly. Any movie that hits a curtain and then it's like it lights up, right?
I was like, so then I took another towel and I was like hitting it. And then I grabbed it and threw it in the sink and turned the sink on. But it was like, you were sort of like looking through a smoky haze. I've never come so close to actually burning the house down.
Yeah.
I've never even come anywhere near as close to that.
Yeah.
It was thankfully, other than the inside of that drawer.
Yeah, the inside's
Pretty
like
okay.
burned.
There was no,
I can't
nothing
believe that
happened.
because you throw a folded towel into a drawer of more towels and then close the drawer.
You think it would just
think that would snuff it out for the most part, right?
There was something about this towel that it just. This is what it was looking for.
Right,
It wanted.
oxygen
It
Just
finally
wanted to-
got close enough to the flame that it said, "I can do this.
Yeah.
This is my moment."
Now's my time.
It has spent an entire decade sitting on
you know
the
which towel
handle
was
of the
it?
oven, just slightly below the flames,
I think
wishing.
I know this towel,
hoping.
actually. I think I've seen this
sounds
towel.
familiar.
So it's
Yeah.
not a towel. It's not towel material. It's one of those ones that's like almost like a.
It's like a show towel.
sheet. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like very thin.
Yeah,
Oh.
we've got a
striped.
couple of those. I hate
Yeah.
them. They're worthless.
They don't dry
They don't do
anything.
anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
They're
sure what
stupid.
well, they
what
catch
it's
on
for.
fire real
Yeah,
easily.
they-
so-
It's almost like if you turned a tablecloth into
It's like linen, right?
Yeah,
it's just,
right.
Yeah.
It was just waiting to burn.
Well, thankfully you didn't throw it in the drawer and be like, "Hey, let's go watch the," and like
Well, that's
walk
the thing.
downstairs.
I would have walked away.
And then
knowing
it's like
me,
you come back up and the kitchen is aflame.
I'm
like
so
it is.
in and out of the kitchen when I cook. It's probably quite dangerous. and then, funny enough, on the top of my grocery list at Home Depot for about 8 months now has been 2 small fire extinguishers.
Wow.
Right, one for the kitchen and one I don't
You
know
know-
somewhere
there you
else.
go.
Well,
But
I think we probably need that too.
now it's showtime.
Yeah.
Man, that's
And
exciting.
I wasn't about to let this ruin the evening. Emily was gone. Olivia, our oldest daughter, was gone. It was me and the younger kids. We had gotten the Dungeons and Dragons movie to watch, the 3 of us, and it was like
out?
late.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on
get it?
Amazon.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, what the
it's
heck
not
am
for
I
like.
doing here? I'll see you guys.
You just
is-
sign off immediately.
I need to. Yeah, what?
Calvin has already watched it 3 times. Like
No
he
way.
loves that movie.
Oh man.
But yeah, it was gonna be our first watch. I made popcorn. We were staying up late, the 3 of us. It's a long movie. I was like, "Here we go!" And then like the kitchen almost lit on fire, and I was like, "I'm just not even gonna tell anybody." And I just
Yeah.
brought popcorn downstairs.
It'll create
was like-
more hysteria
Yeah.
than it's worth. Yeah.
That was like
Yeah.
the first thing. I walked in the door and they were like, "Did Dad tell you about the fire?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?"
I hope
And they
you-
were like, "There was a big fire in the kitchen." Like them
Your
telling
bed
me.
is gone. Yeah.
Well, Emily was gone for the whole weekend on like a trip, and I was like, "Well, I don't want to ruin her trip," so I didn't
Yeah.
tell her. Like
Nothing burned down.
it was
Well,
like
yeah.
5 minutes after she left.
It's
I
not
tried
like
to burn
I
the house down.
walk in and
Yeah.
like a bunch of cabinets are gone or something like something
Right.
insane.
Yeah.
But
We're definitely not the like. We're definitely at the stage of like, if you're on a trip, then we'll talk about it when you get back.
Yeah.
yeah,
Even-
unless
even if
someone's
a
like
kid
in the
bro-
hospital.
Even
Well-
then, if a kid like sprained or broke a leg and it was
That's
like,
fine.
okay, we're in a cast,
Yeah.
let's say it happened early in the morning, we're in a cast by noon, we're discharged by 3.
No, I just mean like you're still in the hospital issue. But yes, if it's
Right.
taken care of, it's
Yeah, if
you
you're there
can't do
for a
anything
while.
about it.
Well, exactly.
Who cares?
Yeah, what's
That weekend away is so precious. There's no way that I'm gonna like put negativity on it on somebody who can't even do anything about it anyway except worry.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's beside the point, right? Bones
Yeah.
heal. Ruined weekends are not. They do not. They don't grow
all you
back. They don't.
That's
True,
it.
that's true.
Cabinets can be replaced. We can.
Yep.
Smoke alarm batteries can be changed.
I actually did order. I don't know if we have good smoke alarms, and so I ordered on Amazon the other day a bunch of smoke alarms, and I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? We should have a few just
That's a good
in
idea.
case.
I don't
Just
even think
in
we have
case.
any, to be
You
honest.
never know.
Yeah. Nowadays they're all just battery anyway, so you put them anywhere
And it was
you
a
want, right?
carbon
Yeah.
monoxide. It's like
Okay.
the
yeah,
trio or
double-
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get a bunch, and it's like not much money. It's like not a big deal anymore.
They're dirt cheap now. Nice.
But yeah, so that's what's been going on here? What about you, Ken?
Nothing. I got nothing. Golfing, trying to golf,
How's that
working,
going?
trying to work. Everything's moving along, I suppose. But
Have you hit any hole-in-ones? Are you a pro?
no, I did hit a par, which is
Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
yeah.
That's like
so,
what
I bet that
what
felt
you want.
good.
Yeah, it felt really good. Golf is exactly what they say. It's extremely frustrating, but also, boy, when you knock that baby and it lands right on the it's crazy how good when you hit the ball right. It's like you didn't do anything at all. You just sort of whoop. And anyway, no, nothing over here. We are creeping up on the end of the school year. My wife took the kids to the local theme park for a skip day, which I did not approve of, but that's neither here nor there.
That is like, man, that's intense, because if I have the choice of kids going to school or I'm taking them somewhere, I would go, you're going to get on that
I told
bus.
her,
And
I'm not coming, right?
yeah.
Well, I didn't
Like,
say that.
bravo.
More like, I don't have to come, right?
Right.
Because I'm already like, the kids are like, there's 10 days left or
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm like, shit. Like, I would love to send you on the bus still. I don't know.
I think
We'll
the
see.
point was to get there before it gets too hot and
makes sense.
before it's summer, right? So now we did it. We don't necessarily have to
true.
go again unless in our case, it's like 15 minutes from our house. So it's not
Oh, okay.
crazy to get out there. But, a theme park, they're not old enough yet for,
Like the big stuff.
you guys go stand in
Yeah.
line. Me and mom are, I don't know, going to walk or whatever. So we'll get there. But I don't know. Nothing going on over here. Nothing new.
Well, that's good, though. I mean,
Oh,
you didn't like the house on fire?
didn't light the house on fire. My direct neighbor is selling their home, and I will not give any specifics. But if anybody wants to buy it,
You have
I
to
don't know.
solve the mystery? Like,
yeah, message me, and then I'll tell you if I like you or not.
yeah,
and
if I
then
like you, I will tell you the
I might give you
address.
details. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
You're saying we should move to Minnesota.
You should
couldn't
not,
afford it.
because the housing market is
That's
out
what I
of
mean.
control.
We could not
here.
afford it. It is insane.
Out of control. Like,
Excuse me.
that house is probably it's starting at probably
Yeah, what do you think?
30 to 40% over actual.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there's a lot going on there, right?
Yeah.
Because there's super high inflation right now. The housing market has
Yeah,
been
everything's insane.
all over the place for 2 or 3 years now. It's just makes my house very valuable. But
Yeah, but then you would have to
it's
buy
all just
a valuable
pretend.
house. You know,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not
Yeah,
like you want
yeah.
to go buy one and
unless
right now
you
anyway.
like already own a second house. It's not like you're like,
Right.
well, we get to keep it.
there's no
it's
reason
just
to sell it. Yeah.
we can sell
So-
for high, but buy for high. But that makes zero sense.
Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Net
Well,
nothing.
I took last weekend. The girls wanted to go to the Parade of Homes.
Yeah.
And so there was like 5 around, like within 2 miles of us. And I was like, sure, we can go to those. I'm not going to drive far, but if you want to go to those, okay. And the insane amount of money for like, if I went to Lowe's and I got like the standard sink and a standard counter, like nothing
Oh, yeah.
special, just like the basics. If someone's like, we just need a bathroom that works, we need a kitchen that has a backsplash, like nothing special. And they're like, I don't know, it's 1,500, square feet. It's got 2 bedrooms, and they're like, it's gonna start around $499. And you're like,
gosh.
why? Why? What are you
Says who?
talking about? Yeah.
right.
And the yard is like
According to
dirt.
who?
There's no grass
Right.
yet.
Yeah.
It's insane though. So
It's-
obviously
it's
with the housing
reaching,
market
like-
too, but it was crazy.
It's like sort of like rare baseball card value territory to me, where like, oh, this Ken Griffey Jr. is worth $1.2 million. It's like, cool. Is it?
Yeah, who's buying
Is it actually worth that?
Yes.
Or if you can get one person to pay for it, I'm not
Yeah,
sure
but
that
not-
makes it worth that much money,
That's
right?
what it was like.
It's sort
and
of,
it was
yeah.
I don't
it's
know.
a weird.
It was very weird. There was like nothing special about any of the houses.
Right.
Other than maybe being like, one is big. Like, yeah, it's big. First of all, I don't want big. That's more to clean.
There is such
I
thing
do
as
not
too large
want
of a
that.
house. Yeah.
That sounds awful. But there was I wasn't like, but look at this feature. I don't know. So, I mean, I guess it was kind of nice because I was like, my house is like the cheapest of cheapest, but it's just as good. Like,
Well,
you know?
I saw the pictures for my neighbor's house went up for, the price that it is. And it was like, wow, our house is a elegant masterpiece of like construction. And, also, what year was your house built, you think? Do you know? 80 something?
70.
70s.
Oh, wow.
Something.
And then they added on in the 90s a little bit.
Okay. But like, I was talking with my neighbor and a couple other guys. We're in that house buying category of like anything pre 1990 is about as quality of construction as you're going to get.
That is
in
true.
the last 30 years, I would say. Which
Someone
kind of
was
sucks, but
actually-
it's like,
Yeah.
man, they cut every corner they can when they build new now. It's
At
just
one of the
as cheap as
houses, they were
possible.
talking about that, and he's like, "We don't use real like studs," and I want to be like, "What?
What
like
the
it
shit?
was, yeah, like what are you talking
Well,
about?"
yeah, and that has
And
a
it was-
lot to do with because it's
That's crazy,
developers
though.
building houses, right?
Yes.
They'll
Right.
buy a plot of farmland and then they'll build
Like yeah,
Right.
Boom, boom,
30
boom, boom, boom.
houses or whatever.
Right.
But
Oh,
yeah, but them talking about that, and they're like, "No, we don't do." And I just want to be like, "So what are you doing? Like
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Then why am I paying extra money?"
What did
I
we-
feel like.
When we built our, well, we didn't build it, but we built out a commercial area for our law firm in 2012, and the studs are stamped aluminum.
Oh, weird.
Use. Yeah.
Okay.
Which in an office setting makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Right.
man, it's probably 90 cents worth of aluminum that they.
It's crazy.
Not
Yeah,
even.
like your walls
Not
aren't
even.
really a wall. It's just to separate.
It's just
working
a separation.
spaces.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah, it's
floor to
not
ceiling
for any-
cubicle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Not
It's
a room.
wild. Yeah.
Man,
crazy,
I
though.
do have to admit, since you talked about golfing on the last podcast, Ken, I think my phone must have been listening because ever since then,
Golf, golf.
I get it's nothing. It's not a ton of golf. It's just DJ Khaled golfing.
Oh yeah, which is the best kind of golfing, right?
Okay. I don't.
That's all I get now.
No, my phone will
and
probably
that's
do it
totally
after
fine
this.
with me. It's like quite funny, and I think it's funny because I don't think he's trying to be funny.
I don't know, man. He really toes the line between like, this guy's kidding, right?
Right?
But
I don't
he's
know.
also so serious all the time.
That's true.
I don't know.
Pretty good though.
Good dude.
All right. You have a question for us tonight, then, Em, don't you?
I do. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm like
What's
an
our
80-year-old.
question music? Here we go. Let's get that question music rolling. So
this Would You
Emily,
Rather?
it
like
goes
that
on
sweatshirt.
Instagram on the Date Night Dice story. If you want to ask us a question, it's probably the best place to throw a question. If you want to email us a question, that's also totally fine. Send an email to benm@datenightdice@gmail.com.
Sorry.
What is our question for this
Wait.
month's podcast?
So I have two quick would you rathers from someone and then a question.
All right.
So the would you rathers are from JRAE29. The first would you rather is would you rather go 2 weeks? Number 1, absolutely no brushing your teeth. Or number 2, being constipated.
Oh, no brushing teeth.
I think constipated.
I'll
I'm
take
sorry.
constipated.
The teeth like
Yeah, that would be
after
too
like
much.
You think you'd get used to it after a few days.
The fuzz.
2 weeks.
That's a long
time.
That's a long time to be
after-
constipated. Are we assuming
Well,
that
I
being
assume you
constipated
get
for
some
2
sort of-
weeks is not a health hazard, right?
No,
It's just the
I'm assuming it's just
discomfort.
uncomfortable.
I also assume you will get some sort of relief in there, you just remain
Like always in.
constipated, right?
Well,
I feel like that's
You still
like
get to go to the bathroom.
I eat bread and I'm like, well, here we are. Like, I just want to, I don't know. I want to
wish.
be like,
I dream of constipation.
not brushing your teeth. That would feel so gross.
Yeah, that's pretty
2
gross.
weeks? I
That's
can't do
friggin'
that.
gross. Yeah.
I
That's
would
too
rather
much
be
for
like,
me.
I can't control this. My eye hurt, but like I can control
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
My teeth feel dirty now after
I know. I'm like,
eight,
ugh.
Now I'm like,
eight hours
I'm
ago
like
I brushed
feeling them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ben, you're going with teeth though? You
I'm
think?
going with teeth. I don't want to be uncomfortable in my stomach, bowels area. I just
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
No, I don't like that discomfort. I'd rather have a dirty
Not
mouth.
doing
I'm like
it.
the Hulk of bowel discomfort. Just always uncomfortable.
Right.
It's his superpower.
It's like you just want to get, you want constipation applied because it would then even it out to normalcy, right? It's like if you have advantage and disadvantage, then you just have regular dice roll.
It's just a balance patch. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, would you rather never, ever again in your life eat, and the first choice is chips or cookies?
I do not need chips.
I
I don't need them.
I don't think I need cookies.
I don't think I need either. But I suppose if I had to
I think I
lose
would
one-
rather say I want some chips and salsa kind of thing.
Oh, I didn't think about chips and salsa. I thought of like
Potato
bad
chips.
Lay's barbecue.
yeah.
You were
Yeah.
thinking like, yeah. What
Yeah,
about
So
and
you're
that's-
saying the good stuff? Okay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still
no
chips.
chips?
But what about a good? Yeah, I'll pass on cookies then.
A cookie is good, but never have I had a cookie that I've
No.
liked as much as like chips and salsa.
Good chips.
Well,
yeah.
that's the
Yeah,
interesting thing
and dip
about
and- yeah.
salsa is not appetizing at all without the chip underneath it.
Well, yeah.
No, I put it on my chicken and rice. Just
I mean,
I have it with eggs.
I mean, like if you took
On eggs
it's
is good.
a spoon of
oh
salsa.
no,
No.
hard pass.
Imagine a chip
I'm
shaped
not gonna eat it like
spoon
soup.
instead of a tortilla chip.
Are you inventing the chip in front of us? Is that what this is?
Imagine something that could feed you the salsa,
What if?
and you
Hold
could
on.
also eat it too.
Big brain time. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I.
Can you imagine? I'm sorry, but if someone just had like a spoon, it's like the same material, but it's in the shape of a chip.
That's what I was talking
Oh, with
about.
the handle and everything?
No handle.
Oh, that
no,
would be
No, I
funny.
want the
metal.
handle.
You
I
want, like,
a
it's a
bag of
cement,
toast. I want
like
a box of Totinos or Tostinos white corn tortilla spoons. And I want the
Everybody gets
So
one. at the
everything
party.
about it is like chip
it's just
shape,
a spoon.
but
Well,
it's
that's-
metal.
If you choose to never eat chips again, that's what you get. You get one of those spoons.
It's the
for
only way you
life.
can have salsa.
That's the only way.
I think I'm gonna keep cookies.
Really?
I barely ever eat cookies. I absolutely
So
love
you're
cookies.
keeping them?
No, well, I know they're, you can't have too many. You shouldn't eat too many cookies, but I love cookies.
Okay.
So much. I love
What's
cookies.
your favorite
I-
kind of cookie?
I gotta keep the chips. Yeah, favorite kind of cookie?
What's my favorite kind of cookie? Probably just a chocolate chip, a good
Is it?
chocolate
Wait,
chip.
hold
But
on,
I
what?
also am a
Chewy
fan.
or crunchy?
I think,
Chip
torn.
or
I think,
chunk?
okay, when it comes to chocolate chip, I think I like it chewy and buttery.
Oh, God,
I want to be
no.
able to taste the butter in it.
Oh, no.
And then I
You
also
lost me there, but I'll
like-
go with chewy. Yeah.
I am
like a good-
crunchy, the thinnest cookie you could get possible.
get
It's
outta
almost
here.
like a chip
Like a
and
ginger
crunchy.
snap? A
Yeah.
chocolate
But
snap?
a chocolate. Ooh,
Do you just
man.
want those flat? What are those like
Yes,
really flat
yes.
things you get at Christmas time that are like kind of
yes.
doily looking?
And if someone
They look
just
like
put
lace.
a thin layer of chocolate in it, like on it, and it's cold, that's what I want.
no.
Well, this
I
is why
want
I'm
it to
getting
be
rid
like
of cookies. I don't
buttery,
care. Well,
And
that would
I
just make
also
me
like
sick.
oatmeal raisin.
That would go with my constipation issue.
It's nice with the oatmeal seems to create
Oatmeal
that,
raisin.
that softness that is hard to capture in a non-oatmeal.
There's a softness, but then there's a chew to the
Chew
oatmeal.
with the raisin in there. You
What
get the-
about?
Yeah.
Do you like oatmeal chocolate chip?
Yeah, sure.
Oatmeal chocolate chip. Oh,
I thought you said
like that.
I thought you said mint chocolate chip. Sorry.
Nah.
Oh,
Oatmeal
nah.
chocolate chip.
No,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I do like those. Okay, our other one is from the Mad Board Gamer from
Oh
Jeff.
no.
Jeff the Mad
He's
Board
so
Gamer.
pissed. He said, if you could have a personal theme song play every time you enter a room, what song would it be? Now, I only because it would be a perfect music-wise. It's not perfect like the song is about me, but the We Built This City on Rock and Roll. The intro would be perfect for entering a room in slow motion. We built this city, and you're like in, So that is the song I'm picking, just because you'd have a great entrance.
I want my theme song to be "Funny Thing" by Thundercat.
I don't
know that one.
I won't play it into the podcast, but Emily will be able to hear
it.
Kind of sounds like our intro. It's just
Because I'm just a little drunk and I want to party with you. And it's like boom, booty, doody, doody, boom, booty.
I don't know what my
Funny Thing by Thundercat is my
That's good.
intro music.
I'm taking the We Built This City. On rock and roll.
Send in the Clowns. That incredibly sad.
The gosh,
Judy
I don't
Collins.
Wait, what song?
Send in the Clowns.
Send in the Clowns.
Send in the Clowns? I don't know this song. I have to look it
don't
up.
know that?
Oh,
You know it. Yeah.
I probably. Judy Collins,
Is
Send
it
in
Judy
the
Collins? Okay, I
Clowns.
was trying to find.
Oh, why?
It's like depression every time you enter a room.
Yeah.
And they're like, Ken's here because they
But
can
I
just
think my
hear.
energy level, it would make my energy level seem really high.
You would seem really cool. Yeah.
Right.
In comparison?
Okay.
Right.
So
Because
you
this
want
is like-
something to contrast
That's
against.
true. That makes
Well,
sense.
I was going to say, like, if I come into Everybody Dance Now, parentheses, going to make you sweat by CNC Music Factory, I can't match that energy.
Now you got to live up
true.
to it. That's
Right.
true.
Because mine is like, I need to always be like club ready. Like, I need to be like looking like I'm a model when I enter the room.
Ooh, okay.
If I
Shoot.
if I came in sweatpants and a sweatshirt and I walk in the room, they're gonna be like very disappointed
Right.
Yep.
by that intro. But,
But-
I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah.
Doing it.
Darn. Yeah. Me signing up for a Thundercat song
Yeah,
being
Ben,
my.
you have to always be
That
partying.
sets the bar. On the
Like
other
you're
hand,
always drunk.
I'm
is
going to
what-
contrast myself and say that pretty much any Lil Jon song or Usher or 2004, 2005, hit, I'll take. Also,
We
any
need-
Backstreet
we need to
Boys
find
song.
the right
I'll take
Usher
any
song.
Backstreet Boys song. Doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh, the other day Elsa
Burn
kept
by
singing Backstreet Boys, and then I played it,
Calvin?
and no, Elsa,
Oh.
which is still.
Still just as surprising.
And
yeah.
I played it, and I was like, "This is that song you keep singing," and she was like, "It is," and I'm like, "This came out when I was like 12. Like, what are you doing?" Like, so we listened to Backstreet Boys on the way home.
Yeah.
But it was very strange. I'm assuming some YouTube, something
Well, that's the
had
thing.
it.
Like TikTok and all YouTube shorts and stuff, like will be singing a song. I'm like,
Yeah.
Where did you hear that?
Yeah.
But it's some different version of it, right?
Yeah.
For a YouTube short.
Yes.
And I'm like, you want to hear the real one, the good one?
Yeah.
He's like, no, thank you.
No, thank you, actually.
And you're like, "Fuck you," because
Yeah.
Man.
I'll be in the garage listening by myself.
yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
pissed.
Well, like
Exactly.
Liv the other day, I was driving her home from school and she's singing Sid the Science Kid's intro. And I was
know.
like, I know you've never watched Sid the Science Kid.
Yeah.
How do you know that song? Like, that was
Yeah.
before your time as a child, Sid the Science Kid. And it's, of course, it's a TikTok thing. She only knows the first girl's intro. I was like, what about all the other
Yeah, I was
kids?
like,
Don't you know
need
their
to know
intro?
the other
Hate
ones.
that show. Talk about
Well, man.
Uncanny Valley.
We've talked about that on
That
here, I
Yeah.
think.
show is
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
early days, because if you see the behind the scenes of someone in like big shoes dancing around, it is
It's
so
too much.
creepy.
Yeah.
I don't like it. The way he moved, I don't like it. But those are the questions. There we go.
No, I just want to
Those
listen
are
to
good.
Thundercat songs. A little, cause I'm just a little drunk. And
What's a song where
with you.
he sings, he's watering his garden in the beginning, and then at the end, he's trying to like hook up with one of the sisters from Haim.
Is that the Dragon Ball Do-Rag one?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Which is like, Haim is probably my favorite band of all time.
I
and then
love Haim.
For them
That
to
is
just
good.
be at the end and like one of them wants to go home with him is very entertaining to me.
I want nothing more than a new Haim album to come out.
Oh,
like, could it?
Nothing
I don't
when
know.
was the last one?
It was
Pretty
quite
recently.
a few, maybe 3 years ago, though.
Yeah, but recently enough to where like it's not going to be
Yeah.
a new one this year.
Yeah.
Right? I would be shocked.
Oh, it's
That
so
makes sense,
good, though.
But it is really good.
Ooh, I'm going to make that my wild card. Here, hold
Haim.
on. No, there's two other artists
Ooh, perfect.
that I want to recommend if you
I
like
almost
Haim.
did that. Ooh, okay.
Oh, I should have done music for my wild
I was
card.
thinking
That's
about
so
that,
good.
but I didn't do it.
That's a genius idea. I wonder if I can
Well, you
come up
can
with something very
switch.
quickly. Speaking of wild cards, I think that brings us to
Sorry.
our top 3 countdown. Emily, what are the topics again?
Tabletop games, video games. Whoa, wild card.
Oh my gosh, how am I going to come up with a music wild card
Man,
out
we
of
need
nowhere
that
all of a
horn.
sudden? I think I need to. Ooh, what's going to
Do
get
a wild
cut
card?
from my list? Something's going to get cut.
Ben, do you want to start your
No,
list?
I'm not going to start because I need to come. I need to go. I got to hunt. I got to hunt and find
Jeez,
my
chill out,
wild
chill
card.
Out, chill out.
Emily,
Do you want me to start?
Can you please go first?
I can. My first one is a tabletop game. Okay.
Tabletop games.
Okay, the game is Destinies, but the sea and sand, though also just Destinies. Now, I think we've talked about this in the past, but I will
Destinies?
just kind of, I almost said Destinies. That's why I keep like pausing. Destini sounds like an Italian restaurant, which
Oh
we
my
always
God, my wife and I love Destini's.
exactly the chicken parm.
Have you ever seen the Saturday Night Live skit with Ryan Gosling? Not friend of the show, Ryan Gosling.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the name of the restaurant they
I
make
don't think
up?
so.
Oh God, they get the basic premise is it's him and his girlfriend. I'm taking control of this. Sorry.
No, go for it.
They got tricked into an Italian restaurant where they're eating and the meal's delicious and everything. And then somebody comes out and, hey, these are all pasta dishes from Domino's. And he and his
Oh my
girlfriend
gosh.
lose it because they are like, no, we love Destini's. And they're like, no, we made Destini's up for
That's-
this Domino's commercial.
That's what
You have
I
to see
feel
it.
like.
It's perfect.
Man,
Sorry.
okay. I need
I'm
to
gonna write it
like
down.
look
I'm gonna
that
send
up.
it to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite.
I can't
D'Angelo's?
think of
What
a
do they call
skit
it?
with him, so I haven't seen it.
Oh, he's very entertaining. He's very funny. Good Kenergy, as they say.
They say.
They say Kenergy now. I have to capitalize on it.
Ooh. Okay. So Destini's. I'm gonna keep
Sorry,
saying
I'm
that.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I wasted everybody's past 3 minutes.
Okay,
That
so
was
the
so
game,
stupid.
if you don't know it though, the game is so it's kind of like a story-driven game. You mix an app that you have and the board game. So you start with a few cards face down, and when your players explore next to it, you like get more cards out and flip them up.
Cool.
And
Yeah,
then in
yeah.
the app, you can go to them and talk to people and like all that stuff. So when you start, you have a card on the back. You have two things. You can like fulfill goal 1 or goal 2, and you're like trying to do one of those to end the game. And you can like scan the card and all that stuff to like talk to people about it. Okay, so the Sea and Sand one, this was the description. It says, embark on an epic journey to reach the sands of Madia. I'm sorry, I don't know. Pirate Fortress. I know, I'm sorry. On the shores
How
of North
offensive.
Africa.
I was gonna
am
say,
so
wow, no
sorry. No. Is your army strong enough to break through its walls? Or will the African heat, merciless pirate raiders, and the Ifrit? Is that how you say it?
I think that's right. Yeah.
A creature
That sounds
of
right.
Arabic legend see the dreams of glory sinking into the sea of sand forever. Okay,
Cool.
sounds epic,
I
right?
like that setup. Yeah.
It's not. So don't get
Oh.
excited. It's not. Okay. Sorry.
Guess what? It's not. You
It
suck.
sucks. So the whole time when we played, so they kept using specific names. And I'm going to tell you right now, the whole time I was going, am I supposed to historically know something to get into this game? I don't think you are. But they're like, you're going to want to talk to the blah, blah, blah troop. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And memorizing all these names, I still have no idea what we're doing. But, so I looked it up on Board Game Geek too. And these are some quotes from people leaving the comments, and I totally agree with them. So I'm going to read those. Okay. Someone said, when you're winning, you're rewarded with the story in progress. When you're losing, it feels like every choice you make is dead end. And there's no way you're going to make it. If your opponent accomplishes their objectives and enters the end game, which is like at the end, when you enter the end game, it is very much like they say, you might as well quit because there's no way you can catch up. So, like, what's the point? And then you can't really replay it because you know the story enough that even if you're a different character, you kind of like, I feel like you would know it too much to, I mean, maybe you could. And then another one,
story, right?
Another person said the minis are very, very tiny. That's an understatement. If you had a penny next to them, they're about that size, like height-wise, that size. Wow. And there's like 30 of them, and they're like, find the priest.
Oh.
They're all the same flipping color, and you're like looking at this teeny...
Well, once you include the expansion, there's not like 30.
It's insane.
There's like 50.
But even when you put them on the board, I can't tell who's who. So when it's like, go talk to the huntress...
You gotta get down there.
I don't know who that is. Yeah. But they're like, the skill system's fine, which it is fine when you have to roll dice, but the story fell flat. They're bland, generic, dark fantasy stuff. You find yourself guessing where you're supposed to go for the objectives. Right. So true. Yeah. Events and their outcomes are not often clearly connected, which makes your choices feel like crapshoot instead of meaningful. I totally agree with that.
Ouch.
So the whole time... Like the last time we played, I wasn't even quite sure what my objective meant. I was confused by it. And then the whole time it's like you go to a priest or something and he's like, you should check this out. And you're like, should I?
Should I? Yeah, right. Is this connected to
And then
what
I
went
doing, to it and it's like, you get a couple dollars. And I'm like, did that help me? And the whole time I am guessing. I have no idea. Like, I just feel like they could make such a fun story, and instead they're trying to make it like they said, dark fantasy, but like kind of historical sounding instead of being like a fun like
an alternate sort of historical thing, or
like make it, I don't know, make it more fun. Like, oh, you like go visit the spirit of. Instead, it's very like. I don't know. It's like, set up the troops. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about the whole time. I don't know.
And that's my main criticism. A system that is so...
D'Angelo's?
Like, you would forgive its randomness and swingy nature and stuff if it just leaned into the fact that it is that, and it was really like campy and fun. And
I would rather
goofy.
it's that, like, go visit the dragon or something goofy.
The huge reason why I was like, no, we need to play the expansion, because I was like, the story has to be more fun than the base game is. The base game is like very serious.
The base
like
game better though.
I don't know where this one goes. Like, we only played the first one.
That's true.
The base game is like you're in sort of like a war in medieval Europe, and then there's some like
it's like the Black Plague kind of thing.
Yeah, there's the Black Plague, but the Black Plague is like magical
like
in nature.
Yeah,
there's like witches and stuff. But it's all like it's so serious. And then everything is open information, so then it's worded in a way that's supposed to tell you something without telling everyone else at the table something.
Yeah.
And if you don't pick up on it, you can just be like, what? Like, I don't understand what you're saying at all. You're just guessing where you have to go. And it definitely snowballs. And again, I would forgive all of that if the story was fun, but the stories are like dark and like not fun.
They're not fun.
serious.
Oh.
And so then I was like, well, let's go play the expansion. It's like set in the desert, and there's like a big genie.
There's a big genie
monster
on the box.
cover. I was like, this is going to be super cool. No,
no
it's the
fucking genie.
Crusades, and you're trying to figure out,
Nope.
like, you're trying to handle the Crusaders trying to get into this Arabic city and like trying to break them in, and at the same time, the English and French can't get along, and so you're trying to like straighten out political fighting within the camp.
You are
and you're like,
losing me as you tell
Exactly.
me about this.
Once again, and they're like, "Oh, you got to get
Not
our
what I
out."
signed up for.
Right? They're talking about allies, and I'm like, should I know who the fucking allies?
Where's the
So,
genie?
I don't know.
if you're going to have a serious
Get the
story,
genie.
but here's the thing: if you're going to have a serious theme, let's say, if you're going to have a serious theme, then you need to have serious mechanics. If you're going to play like Maria, which is the war over succession
Simulator,
That's
basically.
fine.
like then the mechanics are also very serious. The
Yeah.
mechanics in this game are fun and goofy. You have the skill-based system and these dice rolls, and like sometimes it goes in your favor and sometimes it doesn't, and you can pick up equipment, and that's cool, and they give you little cool abilities.
But I wish there was more of
But
that.
the story is like freaking
And
just
more fun
so
story.
dour, like so just heavy and just like I hate it. I hated the
It's like
story
if
in the
someone
base game.
was, telling you about
I hate
history
the
books,
story in
and
the
you're like, can you
expansion.
stop? Like,
Yeah.
And it just
Not
sucks because
fun.
it takes the easy play system. Chronicles of Crime is from Lucky Duck. Same game, same QR code
Really?
system.
Wow.
Right? Like Chronicles of Crime is like if somebody comes over to play a game, never played games or anything, and is like really nervous
that's
about
That's the one you go with. Yeah.
we're gonna play Chronicles. And
Yeah.
this is that for like a role playing game. Except the story is just so
so bad.
freaking
I don't.
lame.
Total
hate
miss
it.
on the story, huh? Which
Like,
is
if it
weird
was-
because I mean,
No, go for it.
Chronicles of Crime is like they don't.
So good.
Yeah, and it's not that hard to just whip up a few characters in a storyline. I mean,
Yeah.
anyway.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just wish it was
a
more
little
fun.
Swing and a
I
miss,
wish it
huh?
was like you need to visit the genie and like
What's it? It's Destiny.
Destiny's. This one is Sea and Sand.
Parm and chicken.
Yeah.
Parm and lasagne.
Yeah.
It.
Rav and spaghetti.
I just
Unlimited breadsticks.
I was asking other people though, and they're like, I liked it, and I wanted to. I wanted to be
don't.
like,
Are you sure?
do I? Am I stupid?
But I really like your
like,
board
I'm
game.
sorry.
Your board game geek criticisms. I don't disagree with, but I don't mind. I don't mind because the game is so easy to play. You just put it out and you
sure.
play it.
But like, okay, the first couple times we played, I at least understood my goal. The last time we played, I honestly was like, I don't know what it means to. I don't know what it was. Like, get 3 allies. I don't even remember what it was.
I just wish instead of
But
it
like,
being
why
like,
is it so
Wow, those
confusing?
are
Why can't it be like
microscopic minis?
get
They're so
the
tiny.
why can't it be like get the golden chalice and meet me at the like just make it simple and
I just wish it
fun.
was like, get my frying pan out of my burning house, you know?
Yeah, and meet me
Like-
by the bridge, and you're like
My-
talking to a witch. I'm
My
fine
dish
with
rag is
that.
burning.
Yeah.
It's in the top drawer.
Right.
It's so like they're trying to make it historical, but it's still made up.
Bizarre.
And I don't understand. I don't know. So we only played the first one of it. Maybe we'll try like one more. But
We
the
gotta
last
try
time
another one.
I
We got it.
Yeah.
the whole time, and then the problem was because I didn't understand mine enough. I started to get on the path of mine, but because I didn't understand it, and then Ben, you were like almost to the end. I was like, well, then why try? I'm already
Yeah.
like 3 steps behind. I'm not going to catch up.
No.
So then you sit there and you're kind of like, well, I don't know. You finish up, and I'll just like I
Yeah,
don't know, talk
do
to
your
random
thing and-
people.
Yeah.
And it's
It is
so.
if you get behind, you can't win.
you get
there's
behind
no way to
like
catch
one
up.
step, and there's no way to catch up.
There's no way to catch
And
up.
so that I'm kind of like, well, it's stupid. There's
Yeah,
no
that's
like
no
all of a
good.
sudden you meet some random person. They're like, hey, I'll catch you up. Like, I wish there were kind of bonus things, and I don't know. So I don't like it. That's my
okay.
first
Great. Cool.
It's a- I
Don't
don't
go to
like
Start us off on a
Destinies.
high note.
The Steenies.
Should we go counterclockwise? Ken, please.
Sure.
Sure, mine's very light and
next.
easy. We are,
Okay.
I didn't realize how late it is in the year. We are rapidly approaching, and we talk about this every year. It's cabin time. It's
Yeah,
cabin
true.
board game time.
Oh yeah.
And I want to know. I wrote down summer camp just because I'd like to play that again.
That's a good
But
one.
I don't want to hear anything about games we've talked about in the past. What are this year's hot summer, hot wet American
Hot, wet.
summer?
There you go. Apple pie.
Excellent movie. You should watch that. What are the cabin games this year? I'll include 2022, right? Because
I can think of
it's only
one.
been 5 months.
Ben, do you have any?
I have a cabin game that there's 2 cabin games I don't have. One I've never played that I want to play.
What?
One I want to get.
What?
The one I don't have that I would like to get is Cat in the Box. Cat in the Box is a trick-taking game with 4 suits of cards.
Perfect.
Except all of the cards are not colored. And when you play a card, you say what color it is.
Oh.
And that gets marked off. So let's say there's 4.
Okay.
You know, there's a red 3, a green 3, a blue 3, and a yellow 3 in the deck. But the deck is actually all gray cards.
Right.
And when you play
So you
a card
mark
and
it
you
as
say,
you
this
go?
was the yellow 3, well, now nobody else can play a
shit.
yellow 3. I played the only one that was in the deck.
Oh, okay.
Buying it
and-
right now. Continue.
Yeah, so you
No,
I think you play it
trick-taking
around and-
games are
That is good.
perfect.
That's perfect for cabin.
Like, yeah,
Like all card games.
Yeah.
Right?
So-
like
anything
yeah.
that fits in a 3x5 case or
the
something
game
like that.
I thought of is the one that Brian and Natalie from the Gamecasters taught us, which is I don't know if it's Nana or Nana. Wait, how do you know how it looks on the game?
however you
Is
say
it
the number
N-
7 in Japanese,
It's like
I believe.
NA. I don't know if it's
okay.
dash NA, but
Ooh, that reminds me. I need to get
Ben-
Cafe Overload out.
can you describe that game? Because I can, but I'm like,
Oh, could you
but I
remind
can't.
me how it works?
so you have to make like a 7, right? No, that's how you. We're gonna okay. You have to get 3 of something. So
Okay.
you all have cards, and there's some cards down in the middle, and you can tell like someone to play your highest or lowest card. And then you can also like flip a card in the middle if you want, but you're trying to make 3. So you can be like, Ben, play your highest card. And let's say it's a 12. And I could play my highest, which is a 12. And then if I think I know who someone, like you're trying to make groups of 3, highest or lowest, if that makes sense. But then also certain times you have to pass cards. So you have to pass your whole hand. Or if you make 7, I think that also you can put it
Oh, wait,
down.
okay.
I don't remember.
you have
totally.
explained it enough for me to
We've only
remember
played
exactly
it-
how to play.
We played it like twice really quick. So that's why I'm like,
You are
sorry.
trying to get there from 1 to 12.
Right?
There are 3 of each card in the deck, and that all gets dealt out, and everybody sorts their hands in
Highest to
ascending
lowest.
order or descending order, whatever, so that you can only access the card on each end, your highest and your lowest. The only thing you have access to. You can play your highest or lowest card. You can also ask other people to play their highest or lowest card. And if a set of 3 gets played out onto the table when it's your turn, by you either playing them or asking other people to play them, you get a set. If you make 3 sets of 3, you win. If you make 2 sets of 3 that add up to 7, you win. If you make a set of 3 of 7, you also win.
Okay.
So, as you like, 7 would
But
be in
there's
the middle,
also
right?
6
it would be
cards.
hard to get
Yeah.
7 cards
Face
out
down,
onto the.
yeah.
Yep.
There's also cards face down on the table. You can flip those up.
like
So,
a memory game
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
The whole thing is a memory game. You're trying
Yeah.
to memorize what's in other people's hands.
It's a very elaborate Go Fish, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, or like one of those like memory flip matching up
Yeah.
games. Because if I
Because-
say you play your lowest and you play down like a 3, and then it's 3 turns later,
Yeah.
I have to try to still remember that your lowest card is a 3 when I know where the other 2 3s are. I have found out where the other 2
Right,
3s are
right.
over the course of the last few turns.
Yeah, but the other thing is when you play a card that has like, I don't know, a little symbol in the bottom, then it's like pass to the left. So you pass all
Oh,
your
that's the
cards to
special
the
Christmas
left. Yeah.
edition.
So if you have that one, then all of a
is the
sudden you're
name
like,
of this?
hold
Now
on,
you-
when I
now-
was
Yeah, now you have to remember what was in your hand,
Which I'm gonna
and
say
now
right
you
now
have
is
received
my
somebody
hand.
else's hand,
Yeah.
and maybe it gets passed again, and then passed again, and now you have seen every hand,
And you're like, where the
you
hell is that 12?
Potentially could have them all memorized. But there are also 6 face down cards in the middle, and you're still trying to make the 3 sets of 3 before everybody else. It's a memory game. It's so good.
But overall, like, it's quick and light, where if you don't get it, you're like, I didn't get it.
Yeah,
Let's
no
replay.
time lost.
It's not
Right,
like
yeah.
it's not like a serious game. It's not one where you sit there forever. You just kind of be like, Natalie, put your card, put your
Right.
lowest down. And
Right.
if you don't get it, you're like, shit. And that's it.
Right.
And so that's why I like it, because it's like you don't
Nice.
take it seriously.
I need to know
Who
what it
cares?
is.
It's just a fun.
Wake Ryan and Natalie up.
Is it possible to buy it somewhere? It's
called,
NANA. It's
Yeah,
Nana.
I don't.
Nana. something-
Not yeah.
NANA.
It's just like a little. It's the size of the cafe overload kind of. It's
Here, you
just a
can-
little card.
NANA. Type Nana card game. Here, you can order it from
Here's it is on
$16 from this Hobby
Yeah.
Link Japan
Yeah, it
website.
always looks like Christmassy, right?
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
know
Well, there's
why.
2 editions. There's like the normal one, and the Christmas one is the one
Okay.
that has like passing the card
Oh,
rules.
okay.
Yeah,
That one's a good
game's
game,
awesome.
though.
Huh.
That's a good one.
Nice.
But yeah, those are good.
Do you have a summer cabin game, or did you just want to find out some good?
I
summer
wanted to
cabin
find
games?
out. I was going to lead with.
Well,
I
his is summer camp.
Wanted to play summer camp, but then it just got me
Which is
thinking.
still a good one.
I got to bring new material this year.
Do you guys have a cabin plan?
We had to book 13 or 14 months in advance.
Oh yeah, I think we did ours like at least
Yeah.
6 to 12 months ahead of time. Yeah.
We should be shopping for 2024 end
Oh,
of summer
now.
right
Yes.
now. Actually,
now.
I should look
Yeah.
into it. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane actually trying
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
anything decent.
No, I'm
but
looking
yes.
forward to. We're booked for. So in the past, we've done like a big house, right?
Yeah.
So in our case, it's 3 families plus grandma
Which
and
is
grandpa.
insanely
With
huge. Then
5 kids. Yeah, you need I think
Yeah.
a 14-person house and 1 kitchen. No matter how big it is still just 4 different people in a kitchen.
yeah.
Anyway, so we went to more of a resort where we each have a little, essentially a bunk.
I have looked
with
into
enough
that.
with enough kitchen to where, like, okay, we'll do toast for breakfast or cereal for breakfast, we'll do super easy stuff on the grill for dinner or lunch,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing. Not going to overdo it. We don't have to do like family style. Let's not get all 15
You don't want to
people
be
down at a
Destinies.
table
You're
and
not Destinies.
well, it's not Thanksgiving, right? So but then
that's
it's
nice,
got,
though.
we're also on the far end from the beach and like the boat launch and stuff. So we have the quieter end of the resort. Everybody's got a fire pit. I'm
will be
really
nice.
looking forward to it. Yeah.
Cool.
That's
yeah, that
nice
sounds
Yeah.
great.
because when you have like your own space too, like that's-
Exactly. Even
I
for the
mean,
kids, even our
yeah.
kids are now getting old enough to where it's like,
Well, yeah,
go chill in the cabin,
yeah.
be alone, right?
That's
They
awesome.
want alone time now sometimes, which is good.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Cool.
Okay. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
All right. You guys
then.
have sufficiently given me enough time to replace one of my
Did
choices.
you replace your first one?
With a good wild. Thank you for mentioning music. Made me think of something else. I will say what got kicked off the list was Viticulture World, something that I feel like deserves being talked about a little bit, but we'll talk about that in the future.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll give it another shot. That's the expansion to viticulture. Instead, I'm going to talk about the YouTube channel David Hillowitz Music. I'm not going to say too much about it.
How do you spell the name?
Let me just
though?
pop it up here on the screen. David
nice.
Hillowitz, Hillowitz.
Just like you would expect, yeah.
He does a bunch of like really, really well edited. Like I couldn't imagine something more professional looking.
It looks like it.
Videos about interesting instruments and synthesizers that he finds, or sometimes even like new synthesizers that he gets in and wants to play with. And then what's funny is this is the kind of thing I wish I knew how to do, right? But he'll find like some weird instrument. He'll then sample it and make a sample library. And typically he gives like a simple one away for free and then I think he has a Patreon or something like that where you can get the like nicer version of the sample library he created. But then over the course of the video, it's as he's exploring this thing, instrument, synthesizer, whatever he's come across, it's almost like a track is being built. And by the end of the video, there's almost like a full song.
Yeah.
That is over the top of the whole thing.
Sorry.
And the kind of music he makes and the way that he makes it is like so in tune with the stuff I like. And I just really, really love his videos. I could sit and just watch every single one of them.
The lo-fi magic of VHS audio.
Yeah, right.
That's an awesome, right. That's an awesome thing where he's not.
Is it 4 hours long? Because that's what I want. Is him just sort of, just
does he also
very
have
methodically?
Does he have under the playlist like you can
music
just listen?
Or him,
I'm not exactly sure.
What's under there?
What everything
What's
is
going
in
on
here.
under
How to
there?
make
A lot of his stuff is
how to
about like
write,
sampling instruments and stuff like that.
I wonder if
David's
he's
music
on like
right there.
Spotify though. Yeah, what?
David's
Yeah, we'll have to
music.
check it out. There's only 4 videos in David's music
I bet
playlist.
he has like legit.
I bet he's got real stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
This guy's videos
That's cool, though.
are
Cool.
excellent. I just really
he's
enjoy
got.
them.
I saw 138 videos. So if you like it, you got plenty
Dig
to
There's
in.
watch.
all kinds
yeah.
of stuff there. So
Nice.
highly recommend.
Nice, nice.
I'm going to go watch one right now. All right, Em, what is your number 2?
Okay, my number 2 is another tabletop game.
Number 2.
So I think we've once again talked about this one before, but when I played it the other day, a bunch of people kept messaging us.
Dose.
So I figured I'd talk about it.
It's fine.
And it's Codenames Duet.
Classic.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
So normal Codenames is when you're on 2 teams, you're trying to have someone guess certain. I guess it's just words. It's not certain words in regular Codenames, right?
What do you mean?
Like you don't have
remember.
specific words you need them to guess. It's just the words that are out there, right?
It's exactly the same game.
But you do have a card of which words you need them to guess.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
We haven't played the regular in so long I don't
Yeah,
remember.
it's been years.
Yep.
as
You
well.
have.
Okay.
But like the thing is like the card is instead of double-sided, it's single-sided.
single. Okay.
Both of the
Thank
clue
you.
givers are on the same side. Some of the clues are for your team. Some of the clues are for words are for the other
Okay,
team.
thank you.
Yep.
So normally, yes, you have 25 cards out there, 5x5 grid, and you might say like flag 3, which means the clue is flag and it relates to 3 cards, and then the person
Right.
guessing would guess.
Yep.
In this one, because it is just a 2-person one, so you have a card in between you, but there are 2 sides to it, like Ben was saying. So there are 9 green squares, there's 3 black squares, and the rest are just like a tan. So the 9 green squares is what you want your partner to guess, and they're different on each side. So what I want Ben to guess is different from what he wants me to guess. The 3 black ones are like, the game is done, sudden death, you're
Whoa.
out. And mine are different
Assassin
from his
or whatever
again.
they called it in
Right.
Yep.
the regular one. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they are different though. Sometimes like my assassin might be a green one for him.
Always.
Kind of thing.
One of your
Yeah.
assassins is a green one for the other person.
So
Wow.
it is a
One
little
of your-
tricky
yeah.
when you're
Very
trying
elimination. But
Yeah.
with 2 players, that makes sense, right? For it to just
to be. Yeah.
you to get knocked out. Well, let's play again, right? Not a
But-
problem.
In this one, you can also play like there's a little sheet where you cross off like, because you're supposed to be like a spy going to different countries, and each country has kind of a different thing. So it might be like you only get 10 turns to do it, or you get 7 turns and you can only mess up once, or like so it has different variants to it. So that makes it a little bit trickier. But overall, this is like just a fun 2-person
Nice.
game. It's just like Codenames, but I don't know. I just find it fun. If you mess up, you just flip them over and start again kind of thing, or try to, beat like, oh, we only have 9 turns, so we have to only do it. And maybe you have 2 mess ups, so you're like, let's try again. You just do it again. But I don't know. It's a fun, easy game, and I love this game. Ben, what do you think?
It's the Codenames is like good as a group game, like regular Codenames. There's some other games I probably would play instead.
Emily.
Okay.
But code names, when turned into a
First of all, wow.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know how we're married.
code names duet, code names being turned into a 2-player only game is probably one of the best 2-player games that there is. I mean,
is
I was
so
going to
good.
say, yeah.
it is such a, like, you sit down with another person and, like, dig in to trying to, like, do a little puzzle, and it's short. Like, it's not like sitting down together to solve an unlock or something like that,
Right,
where you're
right,
like,
That's true.
you make this huge investment or an exit, whatever, where like there'll be disappointments and some successes, and you get to the end and you're like, how was that? It's this game where it's like you set up the scenario, you pull out one of the cards, and you work really hard for like a short amount of time, and sometimes you win and it's awesome, and sometimes somebody says something that you're like, shoot, I shouldn't have said that.
That is horrible when you do that.
The assassin fits that clue perfectly.
That's the worst. When you're like beach 3 and the assassin is like crab,
Starfish.
and you're like, fuck, like immediately. Yes.
This game is just, like, it's not often that a 2-player version of something comes out and you're like, oh, this is the better version. Normally it's like, oh, and there's also a 2-player version.
Yeah,
But
I feel like I prefer this over the. I mean, the group game is
gonna
still
say,
fun, but I prefer this.
A lot of games that get translated into a 2-player version, it's usually pretty low expectations, right? It's not the same.
Yeah.
Huh.
No,
Cool.
but I love this one, and there were a lot of people because I played it with Leah when we were in Grand Rapids. A lot of people were messaging me, and they were like, "Hold on, how are you playing this with just 2 people?" And so I figured I'd talk about it because,
Cool.
yeah, it's a very good version of Codenames. So
And then the clue cards are just codenames clue cards. So the words. You can go, if you had other, if you have regular code names or any other expansions, you mix them all together, you'd have 8 million
same
words.
thing.
The only thing from Duet that you need is the
little divider
the
puzzle.
divider cards that just say which ones are your words and which ones are theirs.
Right.
That's all you need.
Cool.
It's really good.
it's good. Also, I feel like we're not very good at it.
No,
though.
no, absolutely
The
not.
whole time you're like toothpaste 3, and I'm just staring at you, and I'm like, none
You're
of them.
trying to help
Like-
each other, but you're also trying to beat each other, right? You sort of have to play by the rules,
How else are you going to connect?
but also win,
Brush,
right?
mirror, and
No,
squeeze.
that would be
It's
easy. That is
toothpaste 3.
not how easy you do it. Yours is like, I can't even think. It is something insane. That I'm like, are you serious right now that you thought I'd think toothbrush for?
Abrasive
No, it's not
Minty.
even like.
soap.
So
I remember one time though, you said toothpaste or something, and one of them was like floss, and I guessed it, and you're like, no, and I'm like, are you?
What? Yeah.
Are you? Yeah.
But I mean,
Stop being a dummy.
that's classic.
And-
that's classic code names where you overlook
Yes.
certain cards, right? And you're like, oh
Right.
my god, I said pirate, and there's a card that says pirate ship
Yeah.
on it, right? And I
Exactly.
forgot it was there.
And you're like, dear Lord, here we go. And you're, yeah, exactly. So that's what's fun. So, yeah.
All right, Ken, what is your number 2?
what's yours? Because I am very tentative on my number 2. I know you've got something hot.
I got
for
something
us.
cooking. I want to talk about Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Which
Yes,
I know
all right.
you've been playing on PS5.
Lead the charge. Lead the charge.
And
Yep.
I've been playing on PC. And our experiences may be different. The PC version of this game at launch is atrocious.
Yeah.
Really?
It is playable but not passable, right? So if you have a high tolerance for like complete jank and stuttering, you can play
In
this
a
game.
$70 game.
Insane.
Oh, no.
you know,
AAA $70 game. Yeah.
it is a horrible PC port. They released a update. I didn't know this was going to happen, but I played the game a little bit today to prepare for talking about it. And they put an update out today. It was like a 3 gig update, and it ran significantly better afterwards. It still doesn't run.
Okay.
It still doesn't. I wouldn't even say that it runs okay yet, but it runs.
Wow.
It is now. It is. It was playable but not passable. Well, you know, I was so bad I would not necessarily have recommended it to anybody. It is now certainly playable, probably passable, but nowhere near like okay as far as performance wise.
Okay or good, yeah.
It just was like, it's not like, it's, you know, there's a good Digital Foundry video out there about it if you want to go watch. It's not like it's like your computer can't run it. It's like it's not using your computer to run it. It was just like it wasn't compiling things correctly or whatever, and there's a lot of stutter, low frame rates, and anytime I had to switch between a game and a cinematic, it would like get real janky.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
What the heck?
After the update, it doesn't do that. The only place it gets super jank is when you go to the map in the ship to pick where you're going to go. Yeah. That runs at about 5 FPS.
Oh my God.
Which for people at home, that's 5 frames per second, which is low enough for you to visibly see the space between images.
Oh, it is like
a video.
Still pictures, right?
Right. It's
you're not sure
speed
that your cursor is going to land in the right place.
Oh my gosh. That is so frustrating.
I have a lot of opinions about this game. I want you to share yours first, Ken, and then I will come behind you, I think.
Well, my opinions are very unhelpful. Not in the sense that they're mean. I just don't think they're constructive, so I'm going to sort of tighten them up and
well, but I do think
it runs great. Go ahead. Sorry.
Like your comments that you've put into our group chat about the game, I think are fair. And I want to get those out. I want you to go first because I know how you feel about the game, and I want you to say them.
But I'm not sure.
Be the date night douche.
Oh, is that what you guys call me? Off.
That's what we call Emily.
If all of a sudden I was like,
this would be a lot funnier if we called you that.
I walk down the stairs and I say, "Why don't you have a seat?"
You see him circle. That would be so funny.
oh my God.
Here's my problem with my own critiques of this game. The problem with my critiques, which we'll get to, are that this is a sequel, and everything I have wrong with this game are the same things I had wrong with the first game. So,
okay.
You know, are they less legitimate now that it's sort of par for the course? Anyway, runs great on PS5. I am super happy I didn't buy the PC version, even though, you know, I've got the hardware to do it. But as you said, the game doesn't use hardware. That's the problem.
It doesn't matter.
I don't understand.
Whatever.
Like, what is it running on then?
Why would they be like
itself
this is
somehow?
I don't get it.
So it's like emulated.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know how to collect my thoughts here. I think the game here. No, I've got it.
He's got it.
He's got it. I'm distilling.
He's collecting from the air.
I'm gonna steal a comment, and I'll paraphrase from a very popular YouTube channel that I recommend, Girlfriend Reviews. When they reviewed the first one, she said something along the lines of, if this game didn't have Star Wars paint on it, it would not be a 9 out of 10. It would be basically a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And my feelings are the same for the sequel. The combat's junky. It's super. It pulls everything from every game under the sun, right? It's got traversal from Uncharted. It's got traversal from Apex Legends and Titanfall, right? Because they made it.
Yep.
It's the same studio.
It's Respawn, right?
Yeah. Combat sucks, though. and I can't get enough. I'm told that the story is really good if you stick with it, but if you got to suffer through combat that's super bland and the exploration is really bland, I think they made a mistake in this one by going more open world instead of going very dungeon-like, which was the first one. But then also the first one had like Sonic 3D things where you were sliding down ice and force stopping.
I don't see the
stuff.
problem with that.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. You tell me what I'm supposed to think about this game because I'm so neutral on this game that I feel like I'm missing something.
So hold on. From someone who hasn't played it, I've seen you play the first one, Ben. I haven't seen this one. What is wrong with the combat that bothers you?
Are you asking me or Ken?
Both of you.
Ben will be able to articulate it better.
Okay.
I think what Ken doesn't like is that you're given a lightsaber and it doesn't necessarily have lightsaber properties until you have gotten rid of all the enemy's health, right?
Well,
once you have eliminated the
once
enemy's
you kill
health,
them,
then
they're
you cut
done?
their arms off
That
like a
doesn't make
lightsaber
sense.
should. But until then, you got to hit them a whole bunch. The combat is weighty like Dark Souls combat is,
Okay.
but it doesn't have the same tightness. So
Yes.
if you're going to give your combat that sort of weight and methodical sort of like approach, then
Yes.
you need to have the tools to understand your moveset well and know how to dodge and cancel attacks and when you can and can't and how parries work. And all of that stuff is like very kind of loose and messy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
That makes
a
sense,
dodge
then.
in Elden Ring is so critical to your combat, and the dodge here is also critical. But like
The timing in
the
Elden
distance
Ring,
of it, and
is super brutal, but you will learn it because the opening is so small. You have to learn it. Here, it's very loose and
mushy.
Okay.
and
It's all
so I don't
kinda
know
mushy.
when to time things.
All right. Yeah, that's annoying.
So
Because,
I felt like I played these games in the right
Yeah.
order as far as I had never played Dark Souls or
true. Same.
Bloodborne or Sekiro, and I played the
big
first
ones, yeah.
one, and I was like, "Hey, this sort of like dungeon, it's almost like dungeon crawly combat. If you die, you go back to the beginning. You got to go get your experience points. They were stolen by the guy who
It's
killed you.
those old 2D side scrollers where if you died, you
Yeah.
went back to the beginning
Go
of
back.
the level, right? It's just that, but 3D.
And then, and I really kind of liked the first one because I felt like it was like rewarding and hard or whatever. And then I obviously I went and played 200 hours of Elden Ring, where this sort of like gameplay is perfected. And the mixture of open world and dungeon is perfected. And the combat is perfected. And the builds are like Elden Ring I have some complaints about how the balance of stuff gets kind of crazy at the end, and the chain of boss fights is fun, but some of those boss fights are like just like,
cheap. Just
like you gotta feel like you like had to cheat to win in some of them.
Yep.
Anyway, so to come back to this game and be like, what has happened?
It's as simple as it feels like I'm hitting X and nothing's happening. It's that mushy to where like the timing of I don't quite know where my lightsaber swings end and where my ability to block starts.
Yeah. Well, like
and the
if you
mushiness of even the buttons isn't helping either, right?
Yeah, and so like you get to where there's like a sea of enemies, let's say. Like sometimes there's like a ton of stormtroopers on you, and you're like, oh, I got to switch to because you have different stances, and the different stances are like
they're cool.
single lightsaber, double lightsabers, dual bladed lightsaber. There's like a blaster one. There's like a heavy hitting one.
Whatever.
And it's like I walk around with if I'm a single enemy or two enemy combat, I use the cross guard lightsaber that's like super long.
You have it
really
already?
slow and does tons of damage.
And I wanna like this game really bad.
Because that's how I like to play all these. I typically like to play a slow, heavy weapon. That's how I like to play. So I wanted to unlock that and try it. And it wasn't like it. I didn't like slot into it right away. It was like, this is so freaking like slow and weird. I'm kind of getting it. It's nice because it has you can hold light attack to do like a huge slam, and you can hold a heavy attack to do like a giant rushing. And it has some cool. Anyway, like what I feel about this game is I feel like I could complain about every part of it. I could complain about how it runs on PC.
Yes.
I could complain about the combat not being as good as some other options, and I could complain about the Uncharted traversal stuff being super freaking lame. I don't want to do any of it.
Feels totally unnecessary.
And it's almost like they know it's unnecessary. As soon as you beat a little tiny part of this platforming traversal stuff, there's a shortcut to unlock, so you never have to do it again.
Yep.
They know They know
Yep.
it sucks. Like so, they give you a shortcut every 5 seconds to get around it. But at the same time, like clearly, the people who made this game understand or did some research or something about timing of stuff. Because every time when you're about to get sick of doing the traversal stuff, there's a combat. And then right when you're like, I've had enough of fighting stormtroopers, you do a little story vignette. Then you're back to a traversal.
Right.
Yeah, there's some
decent puzzle. There's pretty good puzzles. I'll give them that. Yeah.
And when you're like, I don't want to do another puzzle, it's time to like, then there's a
open world. Like go run. Yeah.
Well, the open world stuff I think is horrible.
I don't like the open world.
I think it's a
huge
absolute
mistake.
waste of time.
Yeah.
But every time you're like, I'm tired of this, there's a combat. And then every time you're like, man, I'm kind of over this, there's a boss fight. And the boss fights are hard. And
good.
You're like, I fought like this bounty hunter guy who was like, he would drop down, he had a lightsaber for some reason, but then he would fly away and blaster me, and then he would like throw a bomb at me. I was like, what the heck am I supposed to do about this guy?
Game.
I can't even get to this guy.
Huh.
And like, how are you supposed to fight him? You can't pull him or push him. Like, I don't know what to do.
You can throw your lightsaber, you know that, right?
Yeah, right. So,
Anyway, sorry.
Well, that's the thing. There's so many buttons and so many things you can do, and every stance, everything works all differently.
Oh,
and there's freaking a million different. There's 5 different stances, and it's like all kind of complicated, and then it's all not tight. But at the same time, I don't ever want to like put it down because I want to see what happens next. And every time I get tired of doing what I'm doing, they change what I'm doing so that I keep wanting to keep going.
But if someone said, should I get this, yes or no, what would you say?
Oh, boy. Okay, first I would say, did you play the first one? And then if they said yes, I'd say, did you like the first one? I say it's more of that because it's really is a sequel.
What if they said I haven't played the first one?
Zero change from the first one, basically.
I think you would hate it.
Well, I'm not asking me.
Do I think people should play this game?
Someone hasn't played the first one, and they're like, should I get this one?
I'd say go play the first one and find out because it's cheaper and
that's true.
The problem is though, if you play the first one, you might be sick of it and not want to go play this one. And this one has
problem solved. Yeah, I mean you gotta.
Then you've saved a cheaper entertainment.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that's disappointing though.
I don't know.
I really want to like it. It needs to be. It's way too many things at once.
Yeah,
and they're all very middle of the road. It's just
I hate that it's like Dark Souls combat mixed with Uncharted traversing mixed with Metroidvania having to double back to areas when you get new abilities to get new traversal abilities. Like I just unlocked the air dash. Oh, all of a sudden the places I couldn't get to before now I can get to, like green shield doors I can dash through. Like I don't know. I'm going to play it. I'm not going to 100% it, though. That's the thing. I'm not going to Metroidvania every secret area, but I certainly am going to play through the story.
Maybe I'll just put it on super easy. And because what I have heard is the resounding praise is that this might be one of the better Star Wars stories across the 2 games.
Yeah, but
that's a low bar because the movies generally are not super great. But if that's what I got to do, I guess I'll just play them on super easy.
But it's like I've been playing it on the default difficulty where the sliders are in the middle. I've never died.
Oh, really? See, I get killed. I don't understand the combat. It's really But that's, I mean,
Like I've come close. I think I've been down to. I don't think I've ever been like out of health stims. You know, I have never.
Okay.
But I've been close. I've been like, ooh, I hope there's a meditation thing coming up soon
Maybe I'm no
because
good.
if I get in another fight, I'm in trouble.
I'm spoiled by Elden Ring though, which is just like
That's so good. That game was. I mean, it's just you can't. That's if somebody gave this a 9 out of 10. That's
what does
insane.
that make Elden Ring? Yeah,
Right.
Just
Like-
like,
Okay.
Because if Elden Ring's a
transcendent.
9.5, then this is a 6. You know.
yes,
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's not fun. It's just not great.
No. And I like
Okay.
anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Real mixed bag there.
Yeah, and if you're gonna make it Metroidvania-y, then why the heck is there an open world with like
Right.
mounts you can saddle
It's
and
self-defeating and
So
sort
dumb.
of
so
anyway.
dumb?
Anyway,
Was that your number 2, Ken, or did you
Well-
have a different number 2?
no, that was my number 2. I was tentative on it because I didn't have a lot to say because I still don't know what I think about it, other than I'm generally disappointed. A lot of it feels like they got a list from a vice president somewhere that said,
That makes
you
sense.
know, we have the Star Wars IP. Here are the 5 most popular games in the last 8 years: God of War, Uncharted, Dark Souls, Elden Ring, and throw in something else if you're feeling spicy.
Yeah.
It
right.
does. It feels
And the studio
so,
just
yeah.
had to take that and like,
That makes sense.
okay, how
Right?
do we?
They probably didn't enjoy it either.
It
But,
feels
Yeah.
like a boardroom like made this.
Yeah. Well, I
well,
think a
that's
boardroom.
usually what it does. I mean,
I'm going to disagree. I think a boardroom sanctioned this. I think a really good studio did as best as they could to make the game work, right? Because I think
Yeah.
you can see where they really tried to make it good, but it's got too many moving pieces. It has
Yeah.
too many.
I know, and I even like there was a thing I just did that was essentially like an extended cutscene. It was a QuickTime event. If the buttons weren't shown on the screen, like you had to jump and dash through these things,
That's
at
cool.
essentially at these like set piece
Yeah.
things, and it didn't like say press the B button on the screen, but it was a QuickTime event essentially, right? Like hit this target at this time,
Yeah.
and it was. But it was still kind of fun because it was
That's
like
cool.
crazy everything that was
sounds great.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was like it was very Uncharted. It's such a weird thing to be you playing, and I've never even played Uncharted, but I know the
I
game.
haven't either. Yeah, I've
be
seen it
playing-
a million times.
Right, these like this like movie weird
Yeah.
traversal with
Set
combat every once in a while, but then
pieces.
all of a sudden the combat is this like clunky Dark Souls.
Bleh,
Like it's so
bleh,
weird.
bleh.
But at
Yeah.
the same time, you're like,
Weird.
oh, but like I use the double bladed lightsaber and the hilted lightsaber, and it's like I like the combo of if there's a ton of guys or one of those like blaster things, and I need to be defensive, I take out the double bladed. If I want to just rail on somebody, I take out the big lightsaber. So I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, I think it's time for us to move on to then our number ones.
Oh, I was going to say number 3.
Number
I was going
one.
The other way. Sorry.
Number one. The thing you've been dying to talk about the most this month, Em. What is it?
Okay, so for my wild card, I'm turning into the date night douche. And I'm saying things that bother me.
The Date Night Douche.
I'm
I
turning
thought
into the
this was
date night
like
douche.
the grievance.
Let me.
I have a list of 3 items I'd like to insult each of you with.
And then Emily walks in Ken's
I
door
come
right
in,
behind
yeah.
him.
Yeah,
Why don't you have a seat?
we gotta talk. These are just like shit that bothers me.
Yeah.
And I'm just okay.
Let her rip. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay,
to hate.
so my first thing is I told Ben this the other day. Cartoon owls where they draw a beak and a mouth. Okay, so they have the
Sure.
beak
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
garbage.
a nose. That's why. The
Do you have
beak
any
is the mouth.
examples?
No, I just like you see it all the time, and you're like, hold up, and
I was
then
going to
you
say
realize
the Tootsie Roll owl. He's a beak. He's hard.
he's
to
a beak. He's good. But there are ones where you see it, and you're like, wait a minute. You shouldn't have a mouth on your beak isn't a nose. That is the mouth. I hate
Well, it's
that.
also a nose, though, right? I mean,
Well, it is a nose, but it's not Justin knows. Okay. I hate people who run on the road when the sidewalk is right next to you.
Oh, yeah. That's
That
garbage.
happened today. I had to go around them. And as they were running in the
You
road,
can
the
hit 'em.
person next to them was on the
Legally.
sidewalk. Like,
Legally, you can hit them.
why?
Ken's a lawyer.
Why?
He knows.
Okay, good. So here's some legal things for everyone. Oh, and then I also just said, this isn't what I hate, but like this was on the what is it called? What's the podcast? The science podcast.
You
when it
can hit
talks
'em?
about it talks about how the likelihood of if like someone's walking on the road and there's two cars and they will always have to pass each other when they go past the person. Radiolab. That was the podcast that they
What?
talked about it. So they're saying like if you're walking or someone's biking or whatever on the road and there's like cars going either way, it seems like they always all line up at the same time. And they were like, is this like a thing? And they tried to do a study on it.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's the probability is just like totally random. It's not like the percentage,
No.
but everyone who they interviewed was like, no, it always lines
happens.
up.
Well,
And I will admit, when I'm like walking a dog or whatever, it always lines up. The two cars are passing each other right as they pass.
That's because everybody wants to know where everybody's at the same time, and the only place that occurs is in a straight line.
I don't-
Right? I know where
don't
the
know.
cyclist is on my right. I know where the opposing car traffic is on my left. Now I know I cannot hit either one, and that's where I position myself.
They always line up. I'm just going to say that. But that was just my thought. But okay, I hate car washes where you have to line up your tire in a track. And
All
they're
car
like,
washes?
and then you put it in you have to like put it in neutral. They're,
Yeah.
you know,
Aren't they all like that?
no.
I guess not the laser no touch. Yeah, okay.
There's lots not like that. I hate that because they're always like, no. And you're like, what the fuck do you want me to do? And I'm like having
Well,
a panic
it's also
attack
like a
in the car.
14-year-old
Yes,
kid. Like,
which is why I hate it.
you know, he's doing this.
And you're like, oh, for more? And you're like, are
You know,
you
like,
sure?
no, I can see the track between my tires. I don't need to go that
That's
direction.
what I hate. And then I'm like panicking, and they're like
Yeah.
doing a really panic arrow, and you're like, no, I don't
Right.
think I need.
It's hard turn into instant good. You're good. Right?
And at that point, I'm like, just take my car and drive it yourself. I hate this. I hate people who make their own rules at four-way stops, who are acting. We've talked about this.
We can't go down this road again.
They act like they're nice, and you're like, no, I'm yelling
Do not be
go
nice.
in my car. I'm
Obey
getting
the law.
pissed. There are
You can
rules.
hit them.
Legally.
I hate
Right.
legally. You can. I hate autocorrect on my phone. Anyone who sends messages with me knows that my phone is so extreme that they just start to decipher.
I want to cut in here.
Okay, go for it.
Now, this is gonna be divisive amongst the Date Night Thrice crowd.
Okay.
So, I have reached a point in my life where I don't really text anymore.
Okay.
I speak to text, and whatever autocorrect or typos, whatever autocorrect happens, I
Yeah.
expect you to figure out. If
I'm
I am
kind
texting-
I'm kind of there.
And I make a typo and there's grammatical errors, you
Too
can
bad.
go to hell.
So sad. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
You're gonna figure this out, and you're gonna know what I'm saying.
and I'm only saying this now because there was a point in my life where it was like, you better text me everything in like written,
nope.
like novel quality,
Nope,
right?
not
Like,
anymore.
Perfect language.
First of
Yeah.
all, like if shit isn't capitalized and it should be, if there aren't like I don't care, apostrophes and shit, like, I'm sorry, you get it. Okay.
Yeah, right.
You
If-
know
if-
what I'm saying.
well, especially with the voice to text thing, if I say, oh, well, they're going to be here at 4 and it
And it's
spells
wrong.
they're wrong,
Too bad.
that's on you.
Yeah.
I don't care. I do not care. If that bothers you, that's your problem.
You shouldn't be talking to me.
I definitely have sent some texts lately, and I look at it afterwards, and I'm like, "Ugh, look at that! That's atrocious."
Well, see, I went through that 5 years ago. But
Yeah.
once you just gotta go, keep going.
It's
keep
kind of
going.
like a little puzzle for everyone to solve.
Hey,
Figure
you know,
it out.
You figure out what that means. Right?
My favorite is when I don't notice what my phone has corrected or what it thinks has corrected.
Right.
And then someone will respond how I typed it. Like they respond in a way like they knew what I was saying. And then later they'll be like, oh, I can't believe I knew that. And I go back and go, oh, I can't believe you knew that either because it was so insane. So my phone constantly, like Calvin is Carrick. I don't know if that's a name, but it is in my phone.
Sure. That's acceptable.
My phone will change the word another to not having an O to the point where I go, am I spelling it wrong all these years?
Anther?
Yep, Anther. It takes the O out for me.
My phone, I don't know. I don't remember what word it is, but it always changed it. I'm like, why would you fix it to that?
My phone, Ben has typed with my phone before, and he's like, what the fuck the whole time? It is so bad that everyone who messages me just knows that like every other word will be a mystery at this point. But I do hate it. I'm sorry, everyone. Also, my phone always turns just into J, like a capital Jay, like it's a name.
Your son, Just.
And I've never typed the person Jay in my life. So that's annoying. Okay, I hate when my headphone, if I have like a headphone cord like this, and if I'm taking dishes out of the dishwasher, there is like a 1/4 to half an inch little strip where it can get stuck and it will rip out of my ears every time. And I want to punch the dishwasher in the face. So I hate that.
This list is comprehensive.
I have a long
Came fully loaded.
Jeez, like no wonder why you picked. You picked wild as the third category.
Every time something has pissed me off, I wrote it down. I hate when people say today years old. They're like, I was today years old. No, you're either like your age
that's
or
even already falling out of.
I hate that so much. You can say today I learned, or I hate that.
I was today years old when I found out that Mr. Rogers was a human. It's like, what? Did you watch the show?
Yeah.
You moron.
I hate. Okay, when you have socks and you step on something wet, that's fucking. Annoying.
Yeah,
we all hate that. We all hate that. Okay.
That's why I don't keep any cloth on the bottom of my sock.
Can't have a wet sock if you don't have sock underneath your foot.
Right.
You
don't need sock under there. It's just going to soak up wetness.
Man. You know, I used to think you were off your rocker, and then I finally got a hoodie to sort of like fray at the cuffs and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. But I will never stoop as low as you when it comes to socks.
In the elbows.
He's like
he's the guy who they invented elbow pads for. On the when someone first starts dating someone, and the person they're dating, who you might like, kind of like whatever, they don't do the nickname of the person or the like. If Cheetah was dating someone and they were like, Jacob will be here soon. And you're like, who the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
I don't like when they're like, oh, Henry. And you're like, are you talking about Hank? Like, what are you saying?
Even if she goes by Kate and I call her Kate and everybody else on the planet calls her Kate, but my girlfriend Catherine is arriving.
Yes. Yeah, I get that. I hate that.
What? Like you said, you wrote things down that Bob as they came up.
I don't know. That just popped up in my mind.
Who have you been talking to?
That popped up, and I was like, I fucking hate that.
It took me about 3.5 hours this afternoon, and I just sat down and
clearly
let it flow.
I only have a couple more. Okay, I hate trying to remember passwords these days. Passwords when they're like, oh, the minimum is a fucking country, a capital letter, 18 numbers, and you're like, how the fuck do you expect me to remember this?
You know what's funny?
What?
Passwords are a legitimate problem that need to be solved moving forward. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, that's $1 billion industry that you could like solve, right? And they've been trying to with fingerprint and Face ID and all that stuff, but
it's the worst.
Somebody's going to crack that nut.
It is
and
the
do
worst.
Very well. Yeah.
So like it's honestly every 6 months our bank will be like, new password. You need a new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's tough.
Well, and then they'll be like, can't be an old password. And you're like, I don't, you tell me. I don't know at this point.
Going to retrieve my old or recover old password. You get the email, you click the link in the email, you go to type in the new password, and it says cannot be last password.
And you're like,
And it was, I don't even get mad anymore. I just laugh.
Oh my God. So the other day I bought something online and it was from, I don't know, it's from another country. And so the bank immediately was like, someone took her card. Someone's immediately cut me off. And I was like, fuck. So I had to go to the grocery store. I knew they cut me off because I tried to buy something else and they denied it. So I called them. And I had to go through like 18 people and all this shit. And I was like, I just want my debit card back.
Yeah.
And they were like, do you know your safe word? And I was like,
Definitely not. Yeah.
And they were like, you did it when you made the account. And I was like, I made the account like 12 years ago. I don't know. Apple.
Anything under the sun. Yeah.
And she's like, okay. And then I finally got an email that gave me some code. And I was like, thank God I got the code. Like, how long was she going to have me guess a fucking like safe word thing? Yeah. I don't know.
Right. What kind of mood was I in that day?
Exactly. Yeah.
What struck my fancy?
Like, yeah. Pepperoni. Like, I don't know what it is.
Safe word is hell. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you spell that?
Right.
God.
With an H. Yeah.
And then they're like, is it capital?
It's apostrophe ELL.
Oh my gosh. My last one.
Hell yeah.
My last one is when you're going to write something and you grab a pencil and it's broken and you're like, oh, and you're so mad. Or a pen that doesn't work. And I feel like
pencils.
That shows your.
I honestly mean that.
But what if a pen doesn't
They're
work?
too unreliable for you.
No.
My whole point is that shows my breaking point. If I do a pen that doesn't work, it is like someone just told me my car got totaled. Like, I am so pissed off at that point.
That's why I trust the Pilot G207. These are
The one and only.
These are like $3 a piece, and I will never buy another pen. Is that
Those
the same?
We got.
Is that?
Let's see.
I don't
Pilot
know.
G207.
No, this is a Papermate Profile 1.4B.
Well, you can't. Not
a little bit different.
You can't win them all.
Yeah.
Actually, I've struck on some
list,
fancy pens that I've been buying lately.
You know what? I
Also,
borrowed
blue
one the other
ink
day,
or
though.
death.
It did not work, and it was pissing me off so much.
Oh, sorry.
No ink was
Jeez.
coming out, and I was getting so fucking angry. Also, my breaking point is obviously very small. Like, it is a pen doesn't work, and my day is ruined.
So
This is obvious. That's why you're known as the Date Night Douche.
Okay, that's my date night douche list.
I loved that.
I will keep track if any more shit bothers.
Maybe that's a good sort of secret fourth category. Is first person to jump on date night douche. Roll.
It's always open. The Date Night Douche position is always
first person
open.
to get it.
You can always wild card it.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to jump in there quick.
Wild card bitches and just, Okay.
Okay, Ken, what's your number one of the month?
Well, we talked about it. I had no plans for this, but we talked about Haim. I don't remember what we were talking about at the time. Oh, it was a Thundercat song. Haim is I guess, rock band?
Yeah, I think that's
I'm
our
not
category.
sure
Pop rock?
Pop rock?
Yeah.
Folk rock?
Folk rock?
A little bit of everything.
Know. I have no clue.
Sure.
But I think they're considered rock.
Consistently one of the better modern
It's just a good band.
rock, groups, I guess. Anyway, just wanted to throw it out there.
We're like 100. We're like, what? They're a group
Rock
of
and
people
they're
making music.
Plurality of entities that create noise. Anyway,
very good.
The other two I was going to mention, if you like Haim or if you listen to Haim, it's Haim. That's their last name, I believe. Listen to that. Then go listen to ZZ Ward, much like ZZ Top, which takes a distinctly bluesier direction. and then listen to Grace Potter and the Nocturnals, which swings back towards pop rock with a lot more what are they voice modulation and sort of distortion, I would say.
Yeah.
Sort of like if you like Jack White, she might be a good pick for you.
Okay.
Nice.
That's it. That's all I got. Good music.
Cool.
Haim is probably one of the better live musician groups right now, like in general.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
agree.
like even like that last album they put out, I like to just turn it on at track number 1 and I'll
listen
through the whole album.
Yep.
All the way through. I enjoy it, the whole thing. It's just not like a part where I'm like, skip this one. No.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just listen to it all the way through. There's also a really cool YouTube video they have called Valentine, and it's 3 of their songs like kind of mashed together in one video. It's like 14 minutes long,
I've never seen
but it's really
that.
cool. Yeah.
I consider myself a super fan.
Go check it out.
Having never gone to a musical concert in my life.
Well,
okay.
I don't go to concerts anymore.
Here's the thing.
I've never been to one.
But
I would buy tickets for, though.
Someone the other day said something to me, and they're like, "Oh, you could go see a concert," and I want to go. I don't want to go see a concert.
But I've never experienced it, so I don't know.
I don't know. I just want to be like, what am I gonna do? Just stand there?
On the other hand, I'll take a 6-pack, turn the
I'm fine
live
with that.
album on my TV and sit on my couch. You know,
I don't want to be
get
like,
up. I get up
surrounded by a bunch of people and I have to stand the whole
Sweaties
time or
rubbing on you and
something.
stuff,
Like
yeah.
they're all I don't know.
That's
I want to be
fair.
like, do I need to be there?
Yeah,
I don't. Okay.
Don't think
Maybe
so.
I'm just a
Cool.
loser.
Man, what a great number 1, Ken. I'm gonna
was
listen
good.
back. I need to take notes on the other suggestions that you made because I was like
I think
expanding.
You're more of a Grace Potter guy. ZC
right.
Ward is
Yeah,
gotta
that
like
sounds fun.
blues.
I like blues.
That's good,
I'm
though.
like, I can get into blues.
Really hammering on an acoustic guitar, like it's gonna break, sort of thing. She's
Yeah,
really
cool.
good though too. Yeah.
I'll check that
Cool.
out. All right,
Okay.
my number
Ben?
1. You guys are gonna have to cut me off at some point, I'm sure, because I could go on and don't give me that look because I have now sucked somebody else into this.
Is he gonna be date night douchebag again?
Okay, for my number 1. Yes, it's true. After the last podcast where we talked about possibly starting another online campaign, Ken barely showed any interest, and I latched onto that and grabbed it and ran with it. I reached out to some of our other friends who have been spread across the U.S. in various places in Michigan and Minnesota and Georgia, and I don't even know where Evan is anymore.
New York, yeah. Multiple places at the same time.
I said, would you be interested in playing D&D? And I couldn't believe how quickly people responded with a yes. And we started. And the feedback has been very good so far, I think. We had our first session last time, and we were playing Sunday nights. We're trying to squeeze it into a tight time frame. And it was interesting coming off of that session. I was a little bit like, man, was that fun? And then we played, I'm very curious to hear what you have to say, Ken. We played our regular Monday night game the next day, and it was a good reminder for me that like the difference between one shot and campaigns. Because when we play like a one shot, like we're going to make some characters, we're going to play in a system, and then we're going to have this adventure tonight. And you intend for the fun to be had that night. And then the next day I really thought about when we were playing in our campaign, how the fun is had by becoming somebody over the course of a campaign.
Sure.
You build a character by being a character. And then once you get to be that character, because you begin to understand what they would and wouldn't do and the decisions that they would make, you start playing the game, and then the fun like explodes. And so I just need to remind myself a bit of like there are sort of these like hurdles you kind of have to jump over in the beginning, because the way I like to DM to GM is to set up scenarios and then have the players play in them. But when we were starting our game, there's a lot of exposition that has to happen.
Yeah.
I have to explain to you what's going on in the city. I have to say what all the different factions are. And while we try to do that in a narrative way where you get to play the game, there has to be these like set pieces that sort of like set all that up. And so I got really excited at the end of our session when you guys finally got to that warehouse. And I was like, oh, well, the warehouse is set up. How are you going to approach it? And all of a sudden it was your turn to play the game, but at that point we'd run out of time. So I'm very excited for the next session. I'm curious both to hear, Ken, how it's going for you, and also to tell you some of the stuff I've heard from the other people.
How much fun you're having? Oh, okay.
Well, I'm unbelievably excited.
You're excited to tell me how much fun I'm having.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear how much fun you're having.
Well, to color it a little, about maybe what you're about to say a little bit. Like some of the other players reached out to me and said, if Ken and Ryan keep playing like that, they're going to start teaching us how to play Dungeons and Dragons. Your enthusiasm for the game and willingness to just sort of like already be your character and like do
that's the
fun
game.
Things.
I mean, that's the game to me.
It is. You're absolutely right. But that has brought an energy to this group that I feel I don't think that you necessarily appreciate what you are already bringing.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And so much so that people have said that to me. I'm not making that up. That's what everybody said, including me.
Well, I finish your thoughts. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, because I'm rambling in a million different directions, because this is something, since I got the okay, let's do this is something I've been working on every single day of the week. So it's been like a month. I work on this constantly, trying to build out this campaign, because I decided to run Waterdeep Dragon Heist, which is a standard Wizard of the Coast module, and it has tons of stuff going on. It's in an urban city. There's lots of factions. There's the entire city. There's all kinds of NPCs associated with all the factions. There is so much happening, and I need to know what all that is so that can be in the back of my brain so that you guys can then play in that world. I didn't build the world. I need to memorize the world so that then it can respond to you. And so that's the work I've been doing.
Nice.
I just want us to go get to play in it.
I would like to play again. You had a great point about the one shot versus the campaign, and I was a little. Well, how many times have we played now?
Twice.
Just twice?
We played twice. We played the practice scenario, which was sort of like the Delian Tomb was intended to be a one shot, one night kind of thing.
And that served its purpose. It was very exciting. It forced us to interact with each other. It did everything that a first play one shot should do. I think that's a good way to baptize a group by fire, if you will. Right? I mean, play a scenario that's really not relevant to the main campaign. But the story campaign is really cool, and that's really interesting. That I'm thrown off by the fact that way that Ryan and I play is different than what other people were expecting, because I consider it a role-playing game. I'm not there to win and get kills, right? Or even to progress the mission. The beauty of that game is that, well, what happens if we all die?
Well, it's like
what happens if what happens if the mission goes totally sour, not on purpose, just pure luck, and you have to deal with it. You have to keep playing. That's how you build characters, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's cool. I really like it. You're a great DM. You're doing great. You are hands off when you need to be hands off. You are hands-on when you need to be hands-on, which I think is probably the most important skill that a DM can have. Right? You sent me a meme about what was it, like train rail DM, right? Like, I know you're trying to do this, but too. I didn't plan for that, so like, it fails, sort of thing. Which the one time we played 5e like 6 or 7 years ago, I didn't read the DM. I was DMing technically, and I didn't read the rule book. We basically just rolled out dice and we said, "What are we doing?" And I guardrailed it, or I train tracked it the whole time, right?
But you see, the thing is, Ken, is that there was something there. I had so much fun that night. Like, that night sparked my drive to seek out a way to play D&D. It made me want to ask the question in my Monday night group, can we play D&D? And it made me always want to do exactly what we're doing, which is play together. Yeah. Right? That one small experience of you being like, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm doing a bad job. I, as a player, was having so much fun that my thing I've always wanted to do, the thing I've always been like, I want to play a role-playing game with Ken, and now it's happening. And I'm so excited about it. I just want to make it great. I just want it to be.
Well. Don't overcook it. That's the only thing, right? Don't railroad it. That's where you could get hurt as a DM, I think. And you're not doing that at all. I think you are really good at picking up where player characters aren't really sure what to do, not necessarily what's going to happen, right? That's a constant consideration.
But one of the things about D&D specifically is trying to figure out, there's essentially two games and they're kind of intermingled with each other. There is a skirmish miniatures war game, and there's entire rules for that.
Really?
Right? The way that movement by squares, how many squares of movement, and the range and line of sight, and how your spells work, and an action, what you get to do on your turn, and all this kind of stuff. If you just threw away the role-playing game, there is a skirmish miniatures war game in there.
It's probably
just
pretty boring.
And then that's there, and then there's all this role-playing stuff built on top of it. And so you're trying to figure out what rolls into what is just the kind of stuff you have to learn at first. Yeah. But the fact that you're hitting the ground running with all the role-playing is awesome, because you look at the guys in our group, and I definitely fall into this category. I always felt, as a player character, making role-playing decisions for me always had a lot of weight to it, because I was making every decision I was every act I was doing was almost like making a decision that was defining who this character was. And so I felt like it was important for me to figure out what they would do. And I think my first character, I didn't do enough of thinking, what does this person want and who are they? So that in the moment I could just act how they would act. Instead, I was always trying to figure out, well, what my first character was, his name was Gordrak. What would Gordrak do? And I always had a hard time answering that question. One thing I feel like you've done really well is just been you just are Syl. As soon as you're on the call.
Well, big asterisk. The benefit of my character is that my character flies by the seat of her pants, right? Which, if you're new to playing D&D, create a character that is unpredictable and does what they want.
That's true.
Right? I think that's a super, and I'm not patting myself on the back, play a character that can, or create a character that can be who you want them to be that night, that week, sort of, right? Don't be totally off the rails, but an unpredictable character is an easy character to play first.
True. Yep.
Right?
That's true.
Then you can sort of get into your stoic paladins who have a code of ethics and all these sort of things. And, but I don't know. I love it. I love it. I think you're a fantastic DM. I can't imagine a better group of people to play with either. I mean, I'd always like more, but I don't know. It's fun.
Cool. I'm excited.
Awesome.
Sounds like we're both excited. It's going great. we'll have some updates in the future. If you do want to hear about just a show that's 100% about RPGs, go listen to Session Zero, the other show in our podcast stream. I'll probably try to talk about the game a little bit over there. And that brings us to the end of our top 3. So I think it's time for something, a little treat, Em, a little...
I have some gifts and curses.
Is it a gift or is it a curse?
Honestly, is it edible? I'd like a snack.
Is it edible or is it not?
Right. Ooh,
Okay.
that's a good one. Yeah. Hot dog fingers or
Is it
chocolate roof. Is it
Man.
edible?
We've done that
That
one so
old
many
chestnut.
times.
Yeah.
Can I just go
But
back
now
to
we're
talk-
asking, is it edible? Can you eat your hot dog
Could you eat
fingers?
your hot dog fingers? Ew, gross.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to play gift or a curse.
Okay.
And you have to tell me why.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
So the first one is people telling you about their dream. Is that a gift or a curse?
That's a curse. I don't care what you dreamt
all
about.
people. It's all people.
All people just telling you about their dream.
Literally don't
Is it
care.
sort of like I show up to work and everybody I know at work, or the
Yeah.
4 people closest to
It
me
could be
call me
whoever.
and tell me?
In general,
Sure, yeah, just-
somebody telling you
If
what they dreamt
if
about.
someone at work was
Could
like,
be your
oh, I had
wife,
the craziest dream.
could be an acquaintance.
Whatever.
Can we exclude family? Can we bubble
It
out?
can be family too.
But I want to know what they. It sounds awful though.
Well, then it sounds like
I
you
do
think
not
it's
give
a
a
gift sometimes.
rat's
Yeah.
ass
If
what
you're saying-
a
if you're saying family is a
non-family
gift.
person dreamt about.
But you care about
No.
family?
Yeah, I'm curious. I want to know what's going on in that bubble
noggin.
at night. Yeah, tell me all about it.
I'm overall gonna say it's a curse. I don't fucking care. And it's not gonna be the same as what it was in your dream. Unless you're telling me like some way I specifically died, I probably don't wanna fucking know.
Let me put a caveat on mine. There's no significance to it. I just want you to tell me the story as a family member.
Okay, as a family member.
I don't-
I feel
There's
like
no-
still
you know,
though,
I don't
someone
care.
trying to describe it to me, I'm like, okay, it's not gonna I don't like
That's true. You definitely
gonna be
missed
the
the mark,
same.
right? Like
You're
I
like-
was in a room and Yoda had a gun,
And you're
the
like, I don't
shades
think
were
you
drawn,
understand.
and everybody
Yeah.
was really
Exactly.
scared. It was like,
okay, like
that's a
it
real
does-
dream I had when I was
Really?
It scarred me. Yeah,
I could tell
deeply.
some like spooky dreams, but once again, to you it would not be scary. But
Right.
to me, I was like, it was
totally lost.
terrifying.
That's
yeah.
why I use that example, because I can paint that picture for you of Yoda with a
You
gun
need to literally
and
paint
a crying
the picture of
family.
it.
Well, now I've got AI generated art. I just need to
Yoda with a
That's
gun.
not
at the
as fun,
yeah,
though.
throw that
That's
into
not
Bing
as
Images
fun.
right now.
Bing Images, if you guys have not used it, is really good.
Like, what a fun toy.
That I don't know. I don't know how I feel
Bing
about
Images,
that.
gift or a curse.
Is that, yeah.
gift.
Okay.
Every image is just a treat.
The next one is dumb waiters. So you know, like you buy an old house and they have like a little dumb waiter in it.
Curse.
Okay, why?
What's a gift about it?
How are you going to
That's-
get your meal from the kitchen up to the dining area?
Buy a different
Ken?
house without a cursed dumbwaiter in it. Did you guys watch?
Ben,
What was
what
that
do you think?
insane show?
Oh, that was the one I talked about it
Megan and I watched quite a bit of it.
with what's his name was Ray Romano's brother,
Yeah,
From-
who's a great actor.
He was a great actor, I don't know his name.
Naomi something.
Naomi Watts. Is that her name?
I don't know.
Watts?
I don't know
No.
what you guys are talking about.
It's the one where they're like this house.
There's a
blah,
dumb
blah,
waiter
blah,
and
blah,
there's
blah.
a
There is a
dude
dumb
in
waiter
it.
in it. Yeah.
He lives
it's-
in the dumbwaiter?
No, he doesn't. He
No,
shows
he-
up in it. They
He
bought an old house that
casually
had a dumb
arrives
waiter.
in the dumbwaiter every once in a while. It's very like non-funny Addams Family. Like,
Yeah, it's like spooky, but also you're like, I don't know. If you think about it, it's not that spooky. Some of the things, and so
my
the whole
problem with that
thing
show
was
was
weird.
that everyone was potentially insane,
Everyone was a
and
goddamn
also
killer.
the bad guy. Yeah.
right,
was-
and
What was that? We talked about it before.
yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about it. I don't remember what the name was.
Dumbwaiter's
Anyway,
curse,
I
though.
don't
Okay.
see anything wrong.
Ben?
Like a dumbwaiter, even if you, like, in the worst case scenario, you ignore it. In the best case scenarios, it's it's bringing you your meal,
Filled with
and
ghouls.
somewhere in the middle, you're having all kinds of fun with it, right? Like you like send a message down to somebody, you open it up, and it says you're a dummy. Like that's funny. Like I want a dumbwaiter to do dumb stuff with. Like you like, okay, ding
I'm
ding,
gonna
you're
have to
stop
I got your
right
stuff
now.
in here.
No, I'm
It
gonna,
is 100% a fucking curse, Ben.
What?
Yeah.
No,
You
like
have-
why?
No one has ever been in a house with a dumbwaiter and not been murdered.
What are you
Somehow
talking
through
about?
the dumbwaiter. You psychopath. Something you're gonna send something fun down. Guess what? When it gets downstairs, it's gonna be a goddamn devil child or something. Like
What
no,
are you?
Ben.
What? Like
What are
things
you
do you
watching?
consume? Not any. I've never seen anything where a dumbwaiter is scary.
You
Like, I
are a
only-
psychopath.
I've
my
never seen a
mind-
situation where the dumbwaiter isn't
Is
scary.
not scary.
No,
As
real
soon-
life
okay,
dumbwaiters.
If you have ever seen any
Who's
movie
ever seen
and
one?
they're like
they don't exist.
and they're like, oh, a dumbwaiter
made
in a
up.
movie.
What if-
As soon as they're showing you that, that's foreshadowing of this is how someone dies.
What about in
as they're
Pajama
like,
Sam when you had to use the dumbwaiter to get the
that is the one
stuff
case.
from the basement up to the kitchen?
That's the one case.
Here, point and
That's it.
counterpoint.
It is
what
a
about
curse.
gift or curse? Modern laundry chutes. You know the
Well, here's the
4x12.
thing. I just say I don't want my
It's just a
laundry in the
chute.
basement, so I'm gonna say it's a curse altogether.
I'm always afraid that's gonna plug.
Okay,
Fair.
I'm not concerned about that, but first of all, don't shove everything at once. Like
I'm gonna say
I feel
gift because you can put like 4 or 5 army men in there, and then
You can shoot them
with your BB
down.
gun.
Yep, we've all done
Anyway,
that.
I'm right.
done that.
Moving on.
But
right.
but overall, I don't
I'm
want to bring the
outnumbered
laundry
here.
up from the basement, so it's a curse.
Yeah,
That's my
for
thing.
sure.
Okay, the last one is people dancing around their kitchens in TV and movies. You know, when they have like music and they're like the whole family's having a little blast.
they
like
cooking
a
or
montage.
is there-
It can be whatever. They're dancing around their kitchens. Is that a gift or a curse?
I feel like this is a gift. It always looks like it's fun. You know, like I kind of been like envious of their attitudes, like being just so like carefree and happy. You know, I want to
They're
dance
not
in
the
the
date
kitchen.
night douche.
What show inspired this particular gift or curse?
I don't have a specific one,
Okay.
but there's
This
movies
is a
and
gift.
shows.
We dance in the kitchen, but then the problem in our kitchen is I have to kick my kids out because there's not enough space for my wife to twerk and for me to grind on her, and also all 3 kids be in there. So
They have to step
But
out.
that sounds like a
Right.
curse of the size of the kitchen more than.
yeah, but you know, I mean, square foot. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to say it's a gift because, like you said, Ben, I'm jealous of that situation. I'm never having that much fun in the
Oh,
kitchen.
that's
dancing
true. You're
to,
never
like,
having that much fun in the
I want to
kitchen.
dance
don't
with
know.
somebody by is that
Oh,
Whitney
yeah,
Houston?
exactly.
or-
Whitney. And you're like, but while you're cooking, you're using the spatula
Or
to
is it
sing
like-
into kind of shit.
The Whisper Song by the Yin Yang Twins,
Oh,
which
okay.
is usually what we cook dinner to.
That works too. That works too.
I'll tell you something you might like to hear.
I'm going to say that's a gift, though. That's not a curse.
It's a gift.
Dumb waiters
That's a
are a
gift.
curse, but that's
Yeah,
a gift
cur-
dancing
sure
around your
curse.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand the
Don't
deal with
listen.
dumb
I'll
waiters.
make you watch that show. Gosh, what was
What if it
called?
breaks though?
You and
Then
your
it's a curse. I don't want to
pro-dumb
fix
House
it.
waiter
of Secrets. What was that show?
What if the dumb
What
waiter
was that
broke?
show?
Like, what if the rope breaks and you have to sort of like either fix
Yeah,
it or just
duh,
leave it
curse.
to die?
Yeah,
Curse,
that's a curse.
Yeah,
curse, curse,
Big
curse,
Dumbo.
I don't want to maintain a dumb waiter.
Right.
I think I want to go somewhere where there's a dumb waiter, but I don't want to
Every
own a
time
dumb
you
waiter.
open it, there's gonna be a goddamn psycho in there. You
I
cannot.
don't know why you
Ben,
think that.
I don't know why you don't think that.
That's
Why
where
would
they
there be a
live.
psycho in there? It's tiny.
That's where they live.
That's even
They're
scarier.
psychos.
Of course, that's even
you
scarier.
can't put stuff
there's
that
little
heavy in a
people
dumb
there.
waiter. There can't be a person in
It's
there.
got a
There
bottom
can be
to
a
it. It's
person.
not an infinite like passageway.
Yeah,
that the
but it's
rope
like
is-
just like you wouldn't be if there was a person in there, you wouldn't even be able to like get it to come up, you know?
Okay.
yeah, because he's at the door waiting for you.
God, it's like you don't get anything
He's
done.
not at the top of the dumb waiter. He's at the bottom of the dumb waiter.
Enough of this. Was that the last one?
That was the last one.
All right.
I'm trying to find the name of that show.
Here you go. You get your
What
last
is the name
chance.
of
They
that
want to
show?
say anything? We're wrapping
Hold on.
this up.
I'm trying to find the name
Okay,
of that
you're too
show.
slow. Thank you for tuning in to this month's episode of the Day Night Thrice podcast. If you're listening to this on audio and want to watch a video version of this, go check out the Date Night Dice YouTube channel, where you can also find YouTube versions of all of our podcasts. If you want to watch us live, check out the D-List movie reviews. We talk about bad movies the first Wednesday of every month. We also do a live show on the second Wednesday of every month where we talk about role-playing games along with
Can't figure it out.
our friend Ryan from the Gamecasters podcast. Emily, do you have anything else to add?
I'm trying to figure out the name
Too
of this
slow.
show.
All right. And I guess that's it for this month's episode. So see you next time.
Bye.
Wait, I almost got to it. The Watcher. It's The Watcher.